Yes. Welcome to Fire Will Burn You. Hey. Right, so it is a Wednesday tonight. I don't want to say if it's a very beautiful Wednesday evening because the rain. Look, I've got an umbrella which was, purposely made to withstand to withstand storms and what do you call it, hurricanes and everything, even the hurricanes with the names. I've got this huge umbrella. Today, the umbrella couldn't stand the wind. All the wings of the umbrella, the spokes, the links, scatter. This is not the umbrella you see £4, £2, or let's say 15, 20 CDs. No. This is a proper umbrella. I tell you what, let me take it and show you on YouTube. I'll show you. This is the state of my umbrella. You see, the umbrella is completely umbrellaed. It is completely, scattered. Look at the umbrella, completely. And this umbrella, special one for golfers. It's a strong umbrella. So tonight, if I'm not able to say it's a beautiful Wednesday evening, then you should understand. Because I can't lie. This wasn't a beautiful Wednesday evening at all. Jesus Christ. The wind, if I didn't, fold the umbrella will just fly me into the skies. Fly me to the moon in a video. I love you. Jesus Christ. Anyway, welcome to the show. This Fire Will Burn. Mansa Musa, I'm ready to rock and roll. Tonight we will have the privilege, honor, to speak to a very eminent person in Ghana. His name is Mr. Musa Dankwa. And he is the director for this group, these pollsters. They call them info analytics. They are very good at what they do. They calculate. They don't just send people on the street just to ask one or two people and come and file the news. No. These people are very tough. They do everything thoroughly, meticulously. So when they bring out a poll, a survey result, it is not 50-50. This one roughly around 95 to 98% against 2%. Info analytics, that's how good they are. And I will be speaking to the director very soon. But before then, I'll be speaking to one of the guys in UK here, a member of the NDC fraternity and member of the NDC UK Ireland chapter, to discuss or ask him about what's going on so far in regards to the protracted elections here in the UK. So very soon, Mr. Owusu Achan will join us. But in Ghana, you see, Nana Akufo-Addo has gone to the UN. And listening to him, in fact, I have to look at, read or re-listen to everything. But he's going to ask for money again. Now this time he's asking for reparations. For those of you who don't understand reparations, it's like it is well understood or well-known discussion going on around the world, especially the black fraternity in the Caribbean and in America and elsewhere, that because of slavery, which people were made to work for free in order to build other people's economies. So, for instance, millions of Africans were shipped forcibly, yeah. They were under compulsion. They were forced to, chained, beaten, kicked, and everything, and sent to the Americas and the Caribbeans to go and farm and do other things for the Europeans to make money. So hundreds of years after this slavery, the Caribbeans especially and other blacks are asking for money to be paid, in form of grants, education, this and that and that and that. Akufo-Addo went to the UN and he has gone to repeat the same that, okay, we want reparations. For me, I'm not surprised he's asking for money because Akufo-Addo goes anywhere, he asks for money. And one would ask, the monies that Akufo-Addo gets, wherever he goes, he asks for monies. What does he do with or to those monies? This one is not say be proper question to ask. You tell me if it's not a proper question to ask. Akufo-Addo goes anywhere, everywhere on this planet. It's all about some monies owed to Ghana or the monies that we have to beg. But the question is, if he was using this money wisely and properly, Ghana is owing so much monies, so much debt, really, big time. And the point is, if we had proper infrastructure everywhere, neat, well cleaned up, well manicured cities, proper drains, underground transport systems that are train underground, sky trains, proper intercity railway lines. If we had infrastructure to show for the monies we've borrowed, then you can say, yeah, there's a reason why we've borrowed these monies. But borrow as we do, we don't, seem to have much to show for. And so Akufo-Addo goes and goes and goes and goes. Very soon I will be speaking to, I've already advertised that I will be speaking to the Info Analytics director. They are pollsters. These guys, these guys are pollsters. And like I said, their survey, the accuracy is 95 to 98%. And that, I will tell you, is good indeed. I don't want to mention names, but some pollsters in Ghana, they are nothing to write home about. They just bluff their way out, their way in everything or throughout everything. So, okay, thank you. What we'll do is that, okay, I will go straight to the Zoom line. This is not Zoom line, Zoom line. Just there to welcome Mr. Mansa Musa. Incidentally, we have the same names. The same names. Hey, where did it happen like that? Anyway, apart from Mr. Musa Dankwa, the rest of you kindly mute your Zooms or the microphones. So, a very short rant and monologue by Mansa Musa before we start. And the monologue is about the fact that Akufo-Addo went to the UN General Assembly, and we are hearing a report that he dozed off again in public. And as usual, he spoke a nice, he did a good talk, asking for money again. As for this, our president, any money anywhere that can be accessed, he's looking for it. But like I say, or like I've said, If it was that the monies were being used to do proper things, then we all will shut up and just keep quiet. We can all say that. But this is the case. The monies cannot be found, and the infrastructure too cannot be seen. As we speak, only one person so far is going under scrutiny or is facing public opprobrium, and that's Madam Cecil Dapa. She had so much money at home, she didn't even know how much they were. Hard currencies. And I tell you, if only 10 of the top people, have indulged in this, Mr. What do we call it? Mr. Dankwa, can you hear me? Mr. Dankwa, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Dankwa, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Kindly speak to me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
But I cannot hear you. Okay.
I can hear you very well.
Can you speak again?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, let me try it again.
It's gone.
Can you hear me now?
It's come back. It's okay. Gone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Very good. Thank goodness. So welcome to the show. Welcome. And why you didn't go to the America some? Why are you still in Ghana?
Oh, me, I don't travel.
What do you mean don't travel? Be a good boy, and another will take you on the traveling spree. Why? You two be person now. You see, I've told you, be a good boy. Anyway, on the serious level, thanks for your time here tonight. The reason we've called you is that we want to have a little bit of tete-a-tete with you with regards to what's going on in Ghana. Before we go on the issues for which I called you, I've had a report, or I've received some sort of communique that the minority in Parliament apparently have uncovered another, should I say, ploy by the government executive to borrow some money without the consent coming from Parliament. Have you heard of anything like that so far?
In fact, when I was driving home, I heard it on one of the stations, City FM, but I haven't had a chance to read thoroughly what the issues are yet. But I've heard it about.
I also just heard it, roughly. It's not something that. Anyway, the source where it is coming from, I will say I can trust that source. And it says that the minority in Parliament has uncovered yet another clandestine, that's what they put it, clandestine attempt by the Kufuor Bawumia NPP government to borrow a staggering $431.5 million using GMPC without approval of Parliament. Really, if this is true, the question is, this heavy borrowing, I want you to be fair to me, to yourself, to your God, to Ghanaians. Does the borrowing correlate or reflect on the level of improvement in especially infrastructure? And I mean the physical infrastructure and the unseen one, like, okay, a lot of communication, stuff, digitization, easy to access so many things because now you can go online and do this and that and that. I mean, the monies we have, does it relate to what we have in Ghana?
Right. Thank you very much for having me. Let me start to say that I think I'm qualified to answer this question objectively because my background is finance. I am a chartered accountant and I know how debt is used to leverage for development. And usually when you borrow and you invest, certainly you get returns that would pay back those investments. But if you look at the borrowing that Ghana has been doing over the years, in fact, I was using a trend analysis to look at the component of capital investment vis-a-vis our GDP. And over the years, it's been declining consistently. I mean, and we've been borrowing, though debts have been going up. Our investment relative to GDP has been declining significantly over the years, which means that we're not investing in anything substantial. So definitely, if you borrow and you don't invest in capital assets, what you're going to have is that borrowing to consume. And as you borrow to consume, you have nothing to show off. And absolutely the case in this country now. We've dragged up so much debt, but we have nothing to show off. It's not even in soft investment. There are some investments that are softer investment. That you could say, oh, this is a soft investment that would materialize over the next coming years. And one of them that has been made recently is the ID card investment, which is a very good one. Most of it is soft, and the benefit will come into fruition many years down the line when we stay focused. But what we are seeing currently is not really borrowing to invest in capital asset, really borrowing to consume, to pay salaries, and to pay things that are very flimsy. And that's why we got to where we are now today. So definitely not.
So then, if we are borrowing to consume, as we've been saying for the past few years, then Ghanaians should be happy. For instance, school feeding is going on. People are eating properly. School kids or secondary school, wherever they are feeding, very well fed. They are looking good and fluffy like me. Then the allowances and all those things promised, yet they are getting it without interruptions. The people feeding the kids or people who buy food to sell and the rest, they are being paid and paid well. Lecturers are being paid well. Doctors, huge salary. Nurses, huge salary. Other government appointees and government workers, big monies. If that's the case, people should be satisfied, isn't it?
No, not in this case. In fact, when we say consumption, in fact, if you look at the actual consumption in terms of food, the school feeding, government is in arrears. They're not paying for it. So we are borrowing, but we're not even using the money to borrow what we've been buying on credit. School feeding is in arrears, both at the primary school and the senior secondary level. Everything's in arrears. Yet there is heavy borrowing. I think what is happening is that there's a lot of leakages in the system. Leakages meaning funding corrupt practices by procurement agencies and so on and so forth. So whilst this expenditure is being incurred, it doesn't even get used by the state. It goes into the private pocket. That's simply what it is. That's why the Auditor General was discovering $15 billion, $16 billion series an annum in leakages. That's where the money is going, leakages.
So it looks like it is like Mansa Musa or Musa Dankwa has wife and children. They are not being fed properly. They don't have Achimota sandals to wear in my day. You see, today they will wear Kambu and the rest. My day, if you get Achimota, if you get Canvas those days, you are good go. You are good to go, believe me. And they are not being fed. They are barefooted. They are your wife, Musa Dankwa's wife, only one cloth for Easter, Christmas, Hubutocho, everything, only one cloth. You know, the school children, I said they are not being fed. They are not paying school fees and everything. Then Musa is borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. Then we hear he get another concubine or concubines. Then we hear the concubines, none of them is even giving birth. So where is the money going? I don't get it. Musa, help me. Help me, please.
If there's anything to go by, we have seen recently that a minister has $1 million stolen, he didn't even notice. So is that the practice? Is that the norm? Is that where the money is? It's $1 billion question. I mean, this is very serious.
It is serious. I'm putting some light-hearted, commentary around it to, to cool us, and to chill us out a little bit. Let me tell you, I don't know what's happening in Accra today, but today I can say one of the weathers I don't like at all. Look, I showed my umbrella to the camera. A short distance, the wind has destroyed umbrella that is, designed for use on the golf pitch. A stronger umbrella, all the spokes are go everything. So usually when I start my show, I say, it's a beautiful, beautiful so and so day. Beautiful, beautiful so. Today I cannot say so. It's rubbish. What is happening in Accra? Are you good, you guys, in terms of the weather?
No, we're good. The weather is very good. It's been a bit partly cloudy and sunny today. So we are good. I mean, for UK, I don't think you should be complaining. That is that is what you are used to. Gusty wind, and probably by tomorrow morning the trains will not run well because the trees will have fallen on the tracks, and then you see delays. Good luck. We are here.
You see, I was talking about if with all these billions, if we can count about, let's say about 100 square kilometer of underground being constructed, we can count a sky train, a proper manicured cities, gardens and everything nice and beautiful with the roads, housing for public workers everywhere. If you can count on some serious infrastructure, then you see we are talking as if we are all Ghanaians. Sometimes when I watch Good Morning Ghana or whatever, and I see this guy sitting down and laughing, it pisses me off. Look, it is serious today. A gentleman, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, I won't mention his name. He called me. He is an invalid, what we call it, a disabled person. And he was one of those guys who were, found themselves working at the toll booths. He said, boss, since that time, we are suffering. This is no Africans. We can't hack it. What is going on, my brother? What is going on?
I think our problem has been our leaders, to be very frank with you. Thinking, decision-making, objectivity, really, they haven't got it. To put personal interests aside, put party aside, and think for the nation really is difficult to come by in this country. I have been here for some time, since 2010, since I've been back here. And I've worked both with private sector and the public sector. And then the attitude is ridiculous. I mean, I've never been late to any meeting, whether private or public. And the attitude of people when you go to the meetings is just laissez-faire. I mean, nobody cares about anything. There's no agency to anything. So we really have a problem, and we need leadership that really thinks on the feet, have the eye on the ball, really big picture, and not this gimmick that we've been doing for the past 30 or 40 years.
Okay then, enough to make gloomier weather much more gloomier. How can I do? Anyway, you are listening to Mansa Musa, the program is Fire Benio. Tonight, I have the pleasure, honor, of speaking to Mr. I don't know why he doesn't bring out his proper credentials and titles, but Mr. too is not bad after all, Mansa Musa to be Mr. Anyway, Mr. Musa Dankwa, he is the director of this polling group or pollster. It's a pollster. This info analytics, and I tell you, they are, they are what we call it, results as per the accuracy of what they do. I can vouch 95 to 98%, and that is good enough in anybody's book. He's a director. He's here. I saw him, I think, on TV3 yesterday or so, and I said, no, I need to speak to him, and he will talk to us in Europe as well. So we thank him big time for him coming. So those of you on the radio listener, I know you are plenty of you. If you want to join us on Zoom, no problem. On the other hand, you can also call on the phone, which is 0208-123-5911 or 078-762-51261, or whatever medium we can use to contact me. Bring all your, and YouTube as well, bring your comments and everything. Later on, I'll be on Facebook too. So now then, let's go to the point, the reason I call you, and that is the ongoing voters registration, the limited voter registration, the word belligerents come in, uncompromising. I don't know which are the adjectives and the rest, and there are plenty of them. I still don't get it because people are saying there is a reason, there is some ultra motives behind all this. But before we go there, what have you conducted and what have you found practically on the fields, in the centers, people traveling, from one place to the other, everything? Can you give us a picture of everything that is happening?
Right. Thank you very much. What we have observed across the country is that young voters are in despair. Young voters who are desperate to get their names on the register are being disproportionately disenfranchised. And most of the people who are being disenfranchised happen to be women, because 57% of first-time voters are women, compared to 43% who are men. And we know how much it costs these days to travel even within the urban areas, the urban constituencies, let alone the rural areas. We've seen people who have to move from south of Kwabena constituency up the north to Abokobe to register. And it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come cheap either. The inconvenience is so much. Now, people have to go there and queue sometimes for days to be registered because the centers are not close to where they live. And then also everybody is converging in one particular place. They have one or two equipment that can barely register 100 people a day. And people are just frustrated. And if you go to the rural communities, it's even worse because people have to travel sometimes 40, 50 kilometers distance, cross rivers, cross lakes, walk through the bushes to go and register. If you go to my father's village, Mr.
Dankwa, one second. My producer is asking me, I forgot to ask you, and he's right. You guys have the crowd behind you. So he's asking me, did I give you time to share this invite for your crowd to also come? If not, we can give you 5 minutes because we want your crowd as well. I mean, you are the crowd. After all, you are a pollster. And I can't compare my small village popularity to yours international acclaim. Do you see what I mean? So let's give ourselves 5 minutes. Okay. You can even, just turn off and come back in 5 minutes. After you're done, then we'll continue. Is that okay?
Let me share. No, that's fine. That's fine.
No. But if you want to, if you think you can share anything, maybe you have any helper, wife or son or anybody can do it whilst we are talking, then no problem.
Which one is the Wi-Fi? Is it the YouTube? Is it live on YouTube?
Yes. Okay, let me send you the link.
I think I've got the YouTube.
So the YouTube is there, and Zoom too and especially the intelligentsia. I mean, the well-spoken, well-educated. If they want to join, of your, people that if they want to join, fine. Whilst Mr. Dankwa is doing the stuff, I would like the UK NDC fraternity, the discussion with your a rep or somebody will be after I finish in an hour with Mr. Let's say 45 minutes time, and then we'll talk local stuff. And today my monologue is all centered on the premise of or whatever is happening in Ghana, which doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, how can somebody, someone who is paid to make laws, to help build a country, Parliament, anyone? That's why Ghanaians, they are using this honorable. I get angry when I hear these honorable things, but. We have to give them the space. Let's understand it. They are honorables. So because they are making laws and everything, it's very difficult. Sometimes the early morning and they finish 12 midnight. Sometimes they even sleep there. So we know, we can be aggrieved. We can criticize. We can challenge anything. Sometimes they get on our nerves. We get angry, at them for what they do or they don't do. So we know they are the lawmakers in the country. And in any country, whether it's this Westminster multi-party democracy or one-man show autocracy, kingdom, whatever, queendom, anything. It's still that when you are given that opportunity, it's a big responsibility. And so, for instance, recently I decided I did some serious operation, but I came here after a day. I was still laughing and crying within, but that's me. It's not everyone who can love his job, his or her job so much that even when something is not right, they are still laughing. We are human beings, it happens. But for a lady to leave an African parliament, leave a constituency for, I think, 2 or more years or thereabout, and when people see her, she's not lying on a hospital bed, she's not sitting somewhere reading a book, she's not even sending a message to her constituency, oh, please, bear with, I'm struggling here, please. But no, we see her actually dancing, enjoying herself. Then after all these years, very soon it will be winter again in America. And it's a sunny, beautiful, even though dusty and sometimes smelly, Accra is still our hometown. We'll take it like that. So this woman is back. The last time we saw, she was selling, I think they say ice cream or yogurt or something.
Yogurt.
I don't get it. Then we have so much money found in a minister's bedroom. So much money. And even this, it is struggling to make the news. Oh. It is struggling. It's like normal thing for Ghanaians. Today, something trivia. It's not a big deal. Nana Addo apparently went to the UN and slept again. It's not a big deal, okay? It's just the one we do banter. But the rate at which, or the strength that people are using to defend, I said, you guys are indulging this Nanado and his people so much so that they are really bringing everybody to their knees, and you guys are still indulging. Why? So that is my banter. That is my monologue for tonight. But I think Mr. Musa Dankwa is ready for us. Are you?
Yes, I'm ready.
Thank you. So now then, the question is all about you were going, you were flowing. I cut you in mid-flow. If your brain is, I know it's much fresher than now. If you can still remember and start from where you stopped, kindly take it away.
Yes, we've been talking about the difficulties young people have to go through throughout the country. Doesn't matter where, be it in Ashanti region, Eastern region, Greater Accra, Volta region, everywhere. The suffering is across everywhere. I mean, it doesn't matter where it is remote, and they all have to convert on the regional or district capitals, and that costs a lot of money. People are broke. There's no job. People are struggling to eat twice a day, and now you are asking them to save that money to ferry themselves to centers to go and register, and more likely, first-time voter would not have the necessary ID card, so they will bring 2 people with them as a guarantors. They have to pay for them. So this is really inconveniencing, and I really can't bring myself to bear.
Oh, please, Mr. Joseph, something. Kindly meet you, or I will meet you. Please, don't get. I'm not happy. Mr. Amutanga Akaninga, Mr. Amutanga and Akaninga, please.
I think you have to mute him. You have to mute him.
Okay, all right. Okay, I've given him the chance. I think he himself has dropped himself. Later, he will mute himself and come back. Anyway, so please go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I mean, if you believe in democracy, if you believe in encouraging youngsters to take part in democracy and not to feel alienated and not to feel that it's not part of something that something that they should take part of, I think everything must be done to encourage young voters to register and vote. We know globally it is difficult to get young voters to vote. So everywhere, life is made easier for them to get them to register and then to vote. But here it appears we are deliberately making it harder for them to register, and that is very unfortunate.
Still, I want the picture as they pertain in areas that your people are, or you've been told. For instance, I want a specific introductory explanation of, let's say, I don't know, Denu, Kita, Abo, or OT region, or Bron, or Ahafo, or Western North, upper East. Some places they say the bridges are a bridge has collapsed, cutting off people, and now they have to use a canoe. And what are the most severe instances, problems that people are have to go through in order to get registered? What is going on? What do you know?
I mean, we haven't got people everywhere. We have agents in certain places, but certainly what we have seen even on the news. For example, if you take a Black West constituency, in fact, it was on TV recently, where people have to move from the north constituency, navigate through the Volta Lake, through the canoes, and then across the river, go back. It's just horrendous. I mean, you can't believe that somebody has to go through this to register. And we have somebody, in fact, who works for us in Chumuru. And anytime we are sending him there, we have to pay him additional money to navigate into Chumuru, into overseas places to go and do opinion polls there. So we know how difficult it is to even get our people into certain areas. How much more young and first-time voters? It's really, really not on. I mean, the most annoying thing is that, we haven't done registration since 2020. There is 3-year backlog of people who have to register. Per EC's calculation, about 617,000 people are eligible every year. So over the 3 years, 1.3 or 1.4 million according to them. But that figure is really underestimated. But there are people who are over 16 years who didn't register when we were doing the 2020 register. So that number is far more than they are using. They are basically using the number of people who come from secondary schools. What about those who are not in secondary schools and they are not registered? So the figure they are supposed to work with is far more higher. Because if you look at the our calculation per the samples polling we've done, we should be looking at 2.2 million people who are not registered. And not the figure that they are mentioning. And these figures are quite huge. And if you haven't done previous registration, certainly there will be backlog. There will be huge backlog. And when you open the centers with 1 or 2 equipment, I mean, that's the most annoying part. If you say, okay, come to one center, I'm going to give you 20 machines in one center. So they may be inconvenienced to come there, but when they come there, they won't go back again and come back the following day. But there will be enough equipment to take the pressure.
Sure.
But here, 1 equipment or 2 equipment, I mean, it's clearly not on.
So, obviously, the EC, the chair, and the organization, they should have a reason, a palpable one. I mean, a proper understanding of what they are doing. Because surely they will tell us that they also want a lot of people to be registered, or those who are eligible and they have to get registered. So what are they telling us? What is the reason for doing it like this? After all, they are supposed to be independent. Nothing can touch them.
The reasons they've been given have kept changing over time. They said that they wanted to make sure that people who are not eligible don't register. Radio. And so they are focusing on the registration at the center. That has been the most daftest explanation, because to know if somebody is a foreigner, it is better identified in the locality where he comes to register, not at the center. If I live in Apokubi here, Ablaje, and I know the people around me, I know the foreigners among them. Now I can say, no, this guy, I know him to be a foreigner. But if you say we should all converge in Apokubi, where I will not be there, right? And if that person turns up there, how would you know he's a foreigner? So that's even defeat that explanation they were given. That is completely not on. And then they move on to say that the money they were given by Parliament was for this particular scope of work. And then it comes out, no, that's not the case. They are saying that they are doing that because, the reasons are just not.
Now it has been established that they cannot keep faulting lack of funds. It has been established. Okay. So then, can we say that we, the citizens, we, the people, the talkatives, and the rest of you people, we are being too adamant? Maybe that is the best they can do within the scope of, all the balances and within every reason, they are doing their best. So why don't we just allow them? They are independent, aren't they?
No, I mean, they're independent of decisions with regards to elections, but not common sense. When they went to IPAC disagreed with what they were doing, but they went ahead and did it anyway. So what we must understand is that, look, sometimes you have to let common sense prevail. And unless it is for ulterior motive, which nobody can certainly say, because we don't have the evidence to that effect, what they are doing is really not acceptable. And I've heard the Commissioner of Shraj complaining that, look, this is not allowed. And those who are supposed to talk against it, NCCE, they are quiet. Right. I mean, to the extent that the commissioner says that voting is not compulsory. So anybody who wants to vote,
I think that man has regretted, and he will regret for the rest of his life. So let's leave him to chew on, to stew, to fry in his own stew juices. But going forward, still, when we play the devil's advocate, yes, that this woman, we cannot say she's the last thing anyone want to hear is that she's incompetent. She wouldn't like that at all. So she's very competent. Why do you think? I mean, and she will say that there's no ulterior motives. The assertion from the minority and other people that they are doing this to suppress votes. She says no. Still, I want to get into her head. Why do you think they think this is the best way to go? If really they still believe that this will not suppress, and also this will weed out, ineligible or fraudsters. If they know, we all know that this is rather going to encourage it. Why are they doing it? I don't get it. Do you know?
Okay, I think I have some numbers to back what I'm saying.
Sure.
In 2020, when the government needed the votes of first-time voters because of the free education, they made every effort and gave the EC every money they needed to get to go into secondary schools and register voters. Remember that? The government and EC went to secondary schools, established centers there, and registered voters. Because at the time, the poll numbers were showing that Nanado was leading Mahama almost 24% among the first-time voters. So there was the desire to make sure that they vote because they were winning the first-time voters. Fast forward 2023 today, what do we see? The poll numbers have been reversed, and the government party or the governing party is losing the first-time voters by the same 24%. So if you look at that analysis, it suggests that once they make life difficult for first-time voters, that number will not turn up to vote on election day. Because if they were really winning the first-time voters today, they wouldn't be doing what they are doing.
But I'm coming. That does not make logic. I don't know how to explain this, but those who are already there, let's forget about the first time, but those who are already there, are they really, there's the government or the people who are thinking like this, did they really believe that with all what is going on, all those people, they can capture them anyway, they will vote for them anyway? Is that their thinking?
No, I mean, the evidence suggests that those who are not first-time voters, they're not winning them either. And they're not winning the first-time voters either. So this is a fruitless exercise, honestly, if it is intended to achieve suppression. And another important point I need to mention is that, look, I mean, you have to just improve the government performance. Once you improve the government performance, the first-time voters will have the reason to vote for you.
Yes.
Now, and we have time before the elections.
Yes.
So what if somehow their mindset changed towards the governing party and you've kept them out of the register? How will they vote for you?
Exactly. Exactly.
I want them to see it from the government, from democracy point of view. It doesn't matter what. Let people register because you have time to convince them. You may bring some policies and programs that would entice them, that will change their mind from voting you, from voting for the opponent into voting you. But what you are doing, you're rather making them angry.
Let's go a little bit. Let's talk about the judicial or the legal point of all this. So far, what are we making of the suit and the injunction and petition, whatever it is? Is it that completely ignored and going ahead anyway? Is that what it means?
Well, from what we know, it's been ignored. But if it hasn't been ignored, it would have been stopped. And if you listen to the commissioner, she said they were made aware of it while they were in the field. So she wasn't served personally for 2 days until the following Wednesday that they came back to Accra. And even I don't know whether they've been served or not. But certainly, that's a double standard. When the NDC took NDC to court to stop them from their primaries with the injunction, she said she's been made aware of injunction. For that reason, she's not going to go ahead. In this case, she heard of the injunction, but she still went ahead. But I'll leave that for the lawyers to really chew on that. But certainly, she has ignored the court injunction against the
Let me ask this one. Then those of you who wants to ask question, you can raise your hand and I'll let you ask your question or contribute. And that is, this question is, the electoral commissioner, you say they are avoiding scrutiny and everything else, and they are, going along with what they think is right. My question is, the other side, the NPP group, I hear them a lot that they are not happy in this one. Privately, in public, they seem to be showing, some sort of concern here and there. But privately, you are a pollster, are they not worried that people like Ashanti Stood, there are first-time voters? Or is that, have you guys noticed some sort of gerrymandering? Are all their machines working there, they are voting, people are not queuing like elsewhere, they are not struggling? If Accra people say they are struggling, how about Ashanti? What makes the NPP side happy? I don't get
it. That's my problem. Whatever is happening across everywhere. If you look at the numbers that have come so far from Ashanti region, they are doing far less than they should be doing. Accra is doing far less than they should be doing. Now, in terms of the outcome or the impact of this gerrymandering, if it's going on, look, the numbers that are going to come in the 2024 elections, in terms of parliamentary seats, the margins will not be thin margins. There will be huge margins. If MP will win by big, and if they lose by big. And not this kind of gerrymandering will change anything, in my view. We've seen some of the numbers, and I can say that, generally things are not good for MPP. To be very honest, anybody who has seen the poll numbers, who really in this country must and tell the truth, knows that the polling numbers are not favoring MPP. Now, among first-time voters, for every 100 MPP first-time voters you pick, 17% of them would vote for John Mahama. If you pick 100 NDC voters, 2% would vote for Mahmoud Baumia. So at the moment, the numbers are not looking good. And you see, normally, if you suppress first-time voters and you have advantage in the experienced voters, then you are good to go, because you are suppressing this one and you are maintaining your lead.
To gain that one, yeah.
But the current numbers are that they are losing everywhere. So I don't get the logic of what they are trying to do. And to be very honest, in some constituencies, if they try to gerrymander, it will be catastrophic in 2024 for their MPs. Because you might think you have a cushion and that you can move people from your constituency to another constituency to bolster the constituency. You rather expose yourself to huge risk. You will end up losing 2 seats instead of 1 seat.
Yeah.
So
Now you remind me that dynamics. How does it work? That people are saying, "Oh, gerrymandering we are talking about here is that come the day of voting, those who it benefits, let's say the MPP, they will bring lorries or buses of hundreds of people to other places that the margin was low." I mean, given that that margin can even increase, but let's say the margin remains the same, they will bring people to come and augment in order to override those margins. That thinking, you guys are in Ghana, the dynamics, how will that work?
Okay, let me tell you how it works. Normally, if you have a very good cushion in a nearby constituency, let's say Trobu has a boundary with Kwabenya, who has a boundary with Amasaman. Now, last time, Amasaman MP won Amasaman by some small margin. Per our analysis and what we've heard or learned, is like people move from Trobu on the boundary areas.
Sure.
If you're on the boundary, you can just cross to the next boundary and register there.
And you are there, yes.
The same thing can be done between Medina and Adenta. And also Medina and Iowa Subaswogo. So you look at areas where they have very strong numbers. For example, Ashaiman. If you are in Ashaiman and the next constituency is Tema East, right? You can move people from Ashaiman to Tema East because you know there's no way you're going to lose Ashaiman. But you give support to Tema East. So they do that. Both parties do that. It's not just MPP. They all do that. So when you do that, then you bolster your chances of either retaining the areas you are moving people to or winning it. Now, 2024 election is said that the numbers are so shaky for almost all the MPs that you cannot afford to lend your people to anybody. When you do that, you yourself will be going.
In fact, so let's conclude on this election. The limited voters register, and that is, in truth, the electoral commission, unless there is something that we have not noticed, or there's something, they hold some cards that people don't know. Otherwise, you say this exercise, if there's any ultra motive somewhere, it is futile, or it's going to be futile.
It is futile. Yes, it is futile. It is futile. From what we have seen in numbers, it is futile.
Let's shift on to the current issue in that the other current issues, the NPP flag bearer, elections, which is coming very soon. A friend of mine yesterday said, "Hey, slogans about." If I wrote something later, me myself was laughing. Slogans everywhere now. Now, if you ask Baumia or even Kenya Japan, what they will do for Ghana, I think it's going to be showdown. Showdown. You are a pollster within the MPP fraternity. What is going on? Who has captured the imagination, the love, the proper love, and also who has bought or bludgeoned his way through, and who has brought sadness to within that domain? If you understand me, because some people, for instance, if I'm voting for MPP, I would have gone for Kwabena Japan. Honestly, I would have gone for Kwabena Japan, right? He is not there, so it is sadness for me. But maybe I am just majority of one. So all this combination, tell me something. Who is doing what at where?
Right. It's very interesting since superdelegate elections were held by the MPP. The first poll we did in July, Baumia was on 35% thereabout, and Alan was on 28%, and Kennedy was on 4.5%. Now, superdelegate showed a very different outcome in the sense that Baumia won 68%, and Kennedy around 14%, and Alan 10%. Now, since the superdelegate, we've done an opinion poll for MPP delegates that showed the different results from what the superdelegate did. And in that, Baumia was still leading with around 49%. Alan had dropped to 7%, and Kennedy, I think, was around 21%. And then a lot of the people were still undecided, or they won't tell us. Now, that number, I think, was driven by the fact that Kennedy Agyapong, since the superdelegates election, had really gotten the momentum that he needed. If you go everywhere within MPP, and the noise the people are making is quite shocking. He has large army of followers, very noisy and very passionate, following him. Now, the question is, the large following among the general voters, how long will it take before the delegates begin to have the feeling and replicate that across the country? So we did a poll, another poll again, between 6th and 10th September. And in that poll, we showed the effect of Alan Chiramatin's withdrawal from the race and who has benefited from that. Unfortunately, the numbers look different. I mean, now Bawumia is on 45% of delegates support. Kennedy is on 18%. Also a free on 0. Adainimo on 0. And you have 17% said they know who they would vote for, but they won't tell us. And then also 20% said they were undecided. So between undecided and undisclosed voters, that is a whopping 37%.
37%, yeah.
To swing the race, if assuming, let's say, most of them, huge majority of them go to Kennedy, Kennedy could win the race. If a good portion goes to Bawumia, he also wins the race. So you could see that this race is widely open. But Bawumia certainly has advantage because he's much closer to 50% plus 1 than Kennedy Agyapong.
So
now,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I thought you finished. Go ahead.
If you compare the most recent poll since Alan withdrawal, you could see that Bawumia has dropped 4% since Alan withdrew. People were expecting that he would rather increase his polling numbers, but he actually dropped from 49 to 45%, down 4%. Kennedy, who was on 21% before Alan withdrew, is now on 18%, a drop of 3%. And then you have those who were saying undisclosed, they were 12%, then they are now 17%. It's gone up 5%. And those who said they were undecided has increased to 20% from 11%. So the Alan withdrawal has not made the race any clearer. If anything, it's thrown it much into an open contest.
That brings to the next question before I go on the phone line to ask the gentleman to talk. If Alan, as expected, two things: he keeps shroom and go away quietly, or if he decides whatever he decides to do, what effect, according to your polls, will have on all what you have just elaborated?
Right. In fact, we are starting our October poll this Friday. And in the October poll, we have Alan there as independent candidate as well, in between Bawumia Mahama race or Kennedy Mahama race.
Sorry, if you don't see me, don't worry. I need to do something to the camera. So keep talking.
No worries. Okay, that's fine. So if you have Bawumia going against Mahama, and then Alan doesn't contest at all, we expect increase in voter apathy in Akan areas. To be precise, Ashanti region and Eastern region. If Alan should contest as independent candidate or whatever form he takes, then we expect the turnout to improve, but it will not improve to anneal to only MPP. It would anneal to Alan, wherever he decides to go. He has followers that will follow him. So the MPP will not benefit from increased turnout in that areas, because what we've seen from the numbers suggests that the MPP will lose a chunk of their members who will split between Alan and Bawumia.
I see.
If it is
go ahead. Sorry.
If it is Kennedy who is leading MPP, MPP still suffers. But then what Kennedy does is that he's able to bring a lot more people out to vote than any of the MPP's candidates. For example, those who are enthusiastic, the young people who are very enthusiastic and voting, who are just voting because it's Kennedy, those guys will come out to vote on election day. Which means that if Kennedy doesn't win the election, apathy in MPP would increase as a result of Kennedy voters who will be disappointed may not vote. And that will be the biggest challenge. In fact, Kennedy's impact on the election will be much more severe than Allen's withdrawal.
So this goes to show that, well, Akufo-Addo will say he doesn't really support anyone, but he supports everyone, and that whoever wins, he will, be behind. But in all, candidness, we know that, the truth of the matter, so to speak, is that he is, strongly behind Bawumia. But from what you've just explained, this is not, it's not looking good for Akufo-Addo, is it?
Maybe he's not contesting, but certainly the race is it's not as lopsided as we saw it in the superdelegate, which means that Bawumia has to be very careful, because those people who are undecided and saying that they will not disclose, if they really shift towards Kennedy, that could really be a problem for him.
You are listening to Mr. Musa Dankwa. He is the director of Info Analytics, and they are the pollsters of the land, Ghana. I'm telling you, their accuracy, 95 to 98% is good enough in anybody's books anywhere on this planet. Mr. Kwesiakwa, you want to say something or ask something?
Yeah, I want to ask something, Mansa Musa.
This gentleman is on the phone. When he speaks, can you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Musa Dankwa, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Kwesi. You've given us a bit of education tonight. Thank you very much for that. But I have a basic concern, which you have not touched it. Ghana today, Mr. Musa Dankwa, Ghana politics today has been monetized. There's huge sums of money into the system. Now, when you come to the election itself, Mr. Musa Dankwa, New Patriotic Party have siphoned a lot of money hidden. That is what they are going to use for elections, both their election and the national election. You see, Mr. Musa Dankwa, let me give you a small analogy, then I will allow you to deliberate on it. If you go to a village like Shweshwe, a hidden village somewhere, where the people there hasn't even eaten fried rice and chicken for a year, and when election comes up, then MPP as a political party, based on their money they have, they go and give them fried rice and chicken and 50 Ghana cedis. It changed the dynamics of who wins election. Don't you think so?
All right. Thank you very much for asking this question. But I think poverty counts in the way we do our politics and how we are influenced by it. But over the years, I think our voters have gotten smarter. They've grown to be smart voters. And if nothing at all, let's cast our mind back to Asenov. What happened in Asenov? There was nothing that wasn't shown there in terms of money and resources. Did it work? No. The perception is now changing. If you look at the last election, how money was used and the effect it had, I can say that 2024, those parties that will use money excessively will suffer the most. You know why? People will still take the money, but vote their conscience, as we've been shown by our saying of people. Now, to make matters worse for those who pump money into this election, has been the situation of Madame Dapa. We are currently running a poll, in October poll, asking voters whether they believe that the practice of holding cash is common or is prevalent, but in politicians, or is just one-off. And what we've seen in the data is scary. People are saying that it's prevalent, and then they believe that those monies are stolen money. You see, people are now beginning to understand that when you splash money in election, it is their money you've stolen, and you are splashing it back to them. They will take it and vote against you. I strongly believe that 2024 elections will be different. I'm very optimistic about that.
Good. Finally, before I leave you, like I said, thank you so much for the education. Before I leave you, when it comes to the national election, Musa Adamu, institution like
his
your group...
His name is not Musa Adamu, it's Musa Dankwa.
Mr. Dankwa, I'm sorry, apologies, Mr. Dankwa.
Thank you.
You see, Musa, let me suggest something here. When it comes to the election itself, collation of a final results and declaration of results is very important. Why don't you and your group get involved in the collation of the final result, especially the presidential, so that when even the electoral commission get confused with its data or information, at least your team will get a bit of a true data of the result on the ground? Why don't you get involved, apart from doing what you call a polling analysis for who will win it? Get involved on the collation of the final national result. Don't you think so? Anyway, thank you so much. I'll leave you to address this case for us. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you very much. In fact, we've started discussion with in a way, how we could play a role in collecting these results in future elections. We actually have a system that we have built with our partners that does that. And we use that in Arsenal to test it, and it works. Within few hours, you can get results from every part of the country, so long as we have internet. So we are working with people to see how we can assist in that. But that aside, we are also looking for media partners to be able to run exit poll on the election day. The exit poll, which will speak to voters after they voted, we will begin to transmit that results into big media houses, so that we will see, even before the votes are counted, how it is going. And if the right mechanisms are put in place, we can then begin to share the outcome of these exit polls in the future to kind of assist the voters and the country to see where elections are going before they are even counted. So we haven't neglected those opportunities. We are still discussing it with potential partners and media organizations, and hopefully we can find a way to deliver this innovative way of election support.
That is a huge undertaking, one that shouldn't have been the case at all if we had the trust and the effectiveness of the official, election organizer, that's the EC. Here we are talking about how both the NPP and NDC, as for the other parties, they are just also runs anyway. Both of them busing or transporting people to go and vote. This shouldn't have been the case at all, but we are in Ghana anyway. So it's a very good question. And was it that 2020 it came too early for you guys to be a factor in the coalition, the official number crunching?
No, I mean, in 2020 we were just 2 years old as a company. So we're quite young, and we're still trying to find our feet. So we're not in the position to be able to do that. But I think now we have the systems, the capacity. All we need is to have field volunteers who can volunteer in the field to give us a result. And I believe with partners, we'll be able to do that in the future. We hope we can get partnership.
Yeah, if you cast your net wider on that volunteership thing, I think you get people from outside, a lot of students from Europe who want to travel to the hot places anyway, to come volunteer so that, they will help you. So I'm just advising, cast your net wider to get people to help you. Mr. Joseph Nkrumah, your hand is up. You want to ask something or say something, Mr. Joseph Nkrumah?
Yes, Mansa Musa.
All right, take
Yeah,
it
good evening
away.
to you, and good evening to Mr. Musa Dankwa, and then also good evening to everyone on the platform. Let me also acknowledge Chairman Aqua, who called from Sheffield. I see Chairman Comrade also there. Very good evening to everyone. My question comes from a statement I earlier on heard Mr. Dankwa make. Forgive me, I joined late, so if the statement is not accurate, you probably can correct me. But I heard you say, with the antics going on or the tactics going on with the Electoral Commission now, with the connivance of the government, it is a ploy to kind of punish first-time voters. Now, you can agree with me, or probably we can have a disagreement or an agreement that these first-time voters, almost 70 to 80% of them are people from the SHS kind of thing. So with this ploy to punish them, is it, first of all, is it an acknowledgement of the failure of the SHS, that the government feels that it has failed in that policy? And so if it allows these people to come out and vote, they will vote against them. That is why they are trying to punish them. And then number two, have you considered, engaging in this a data kind of thing where you could pitch Alan with Kennedy Japan? Let's say the chances of the NDC, if Kennedy Japan should win and probably pick Alan as his running mate, the same way if Baumia should win and pitch Alan as his running mate, what are the chances of the NDC if these two scenarios are to emerge? And lastly, if your kind of how do you call it? Your research goes against the government, are you somehow intimidated? Are you somehow kind of giving some bashes and all that from the government? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your questions. Let me start with the first-time voters. In 2020, they were supporting the government by 24% margin. Ronaldo was leading Mahama by 24% among first-time voters. Now, these people are no longer first-time voters. Frankly, they finished senior secondary school. They haven't got a job. They are home. And they are being hit hard by the economy. So right now, MPP is behind NDC with the same margin of 24%. Now, if you look at the proportion of first-time voters, about over 70% of them are students and unemployed. So these are a deadly combination of people who are frustrated, and certainly they won't be for the government. So I think the numbers are quite clear that the numbers are not favoring them. So for that matter, with the frustration of first-time voters. On your second question of Alan teaming up with Baumia and Alan teaming up with Kennedy Japan against Mahama, Alan teaming up with Baumia is absolutely impossible. It's not a possibility. So we will not waste our time to do that analysis. It won't happen. From what we have seen now, where we are today, we have the leisure of seeing how angry Alan is. So that is an impossible scenario to happen. Now, Kennedy taking Alan as a vice, if Kennedy wins, is also not likely to happen. Because, hardly does MPP does a can ticket. So they would like to balance the ticket for some northern flavor. So they won't have, that will not happen. And also, I don't see Alan becoming junior to Kennedy Japan because of the brand and the persona Alan has. So that is also will not happen. But let me tell you what the scenario that are very plausible at this stage is having Baumia as a candidate and having Alan as a candidate as well against Mahama. Now we are testing that scenario in the poll that starts next week, this week, Friday. But from what we've seen for initial testing that we did, is that NDC is solid behind Mahama. They don't kind of scatter when Alan comes into the race. When Alan comes into the race, what you see is MPP scattering. Some vote for Bawumia and some vote for Alan. And there is still a core of 16% of MPP voters who vote for Mahama, regardless of whether it is Bawumia or Alan as the independent candidate. And that is the advantage NDC has at the moment. Now, if you make the race Kennedy versus Mahama and Alan, it gets a bit tricky in the sense that still Mahama gets full solid support from NDC. But then here he begins to lose some grounds from those who said they were MPP and are willing to vote for Mahama. He loses about 4%. So his number drops from 17% to around 13, 14% when Kennedy is running against Alan in a race involving Mahama. So that is still a race that is quite interesting that we're looking at. Now, one thing that Kennedy does very well is that when he's in the race, turnout for MPP supporters is lower. A lot of the MPP guys will be voting because of Kennedy. And if he's not in the race, it will affect MPP in a very, very big way. So, yes, Alan, if he does very well, could plunge the race into runoff. Could. But at the moment, we see Mahama doing very well among NDC. He's scoring close to 95% support within NDC. And then he still gets over 15% support from MPP. And he still wins the floating voters. Once he's able to keep this coalition together, I think no matter what the race is, he will still have the upper hand in the 2024 elections. And if there's a runoff and Alan is the candidate, whether he comes third or whatever, I can't see Alan teaming up with MPP.
Right. Fascinating.
Especially if it is Bawumia running.
Fascinating. That very last question was my question. I was going to ask about, the combination, in a nutshell between Mahama and whoever wins. So, if you can, update it. I mean, rehash what you've just said. That is, if Mahama is standing against Bawumia and Kennedy Japan, the figures in academic sort of assumptions, where do you stand? Where do we stand?
Okay, if you say Kennedy becomes running mate to Bawumia, what that does is that you are able to increase turnout a little bit, but you will not get the same turnout if Kennedy was the top of the ticket.
Okay.
Because they know as a vice president, you are giving what you are giving. You are powerless. So they want to have Kennedy on top, not below. But that would certainly be a ticket worth noting for MPP if they can really go that ticket. But still, there are certain people who, when it gets to the last point, even among people who are Alan, the question comes back, would you want to have Kennedy as your president? And that question is very difficult for many, many Ghanaians. And I think that is what may, in the end, affect Kennedy Japan.
I see. So then, when the show starts, as they say, showdown, when the showdown starts, what can the NPP do from now till the showdown moment for them to, regain this lost grounds, with regards to what you have just told? I mean, you say they are losing ground. What is, apart from, let's put all the shenanigans and the gerrymandering, but genuine politicking, genuine, running of the country, what would you advise Nanado and Bawumia and Co. to do to regain ground?
If you look at top 3 issues that bother voters on daily basis in this country, it is the job, economy, and education. And people are voting based on these issues. Economy, is it good? It's not good at the moment. They said it turned corner, but it hasn't turned a corner. Things are getting worse. So until they turn around the economy and people to feel good that, oh, I think things have been turned around, we can feel the positive bit, it's going to be difficult for them on the economy. Let's come to jobs. There is desperation everywhere on the jobs market. Very, very depressed job market that people are not working for years. And that has been the biggest problem. If they can start to make those numbers tick up, that will bring some hope. Then you have education. In the last elections, the question has been cancellation of SSA, senior secondary school, whatever it is. But we know that free education has come to stay. But it will require some reform. Why is it still very important for people, even though it is there? Because there are problems in it. There are feeding issues. There are lack of a regular timetable where people go to school and spend a lot of time in schools. People are not happy with the system at all. So these are the three issues that would decide 2024 elections. Absolutely three issues. And now we also see corruption climbing up.
I was going to ask you that in the big scheme of things, are you saying
Yes.
people want to ignore corruption?
No.
Then the question of trust in politics. I mean, the trust that when you promise, for instance, I'll do this and that, are people just forgotten and they will forgive them for failing?
No,
Will people forgive them for failing? Galamsey? Will people forgive for, let's say, the general trust that we have monies, the suspicion of people having monies in their closet and the rest? You said those things don't come in at all?
We're talking about top three issues.
Sure.
At the moment,
Sure.
corruption hasn't climbed to the top three yet. But
Okay.
corruption is number 4 now.
Okay.
Eventually, it's climbing up. So you see, as the cases pile up and people get fed up, those issues sometimes change positions. So we are seeing corruption. In fact, in the last year, corruption was way back around 7th or 8th position. It's now moved to 4th. And road was previously around 5th. It's also still 5th. It's coming. So as election draws near, those top 5 issues will really be what will drive people's decision.
Provision of
Those are
infrastructure and those things as well?
No, now they are, look, just the basic one is not there. So they're not even looking for the fancy ones. They're looking for the basic roads.
I see.
And those are the things that will really determine who wins the elections next year.
So lastly, before you go, as a strategist, for instance, if you are advising NPP, which of these do you think they have to tackle in order to, to assure people that, hey, you can still stick with us?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't normally offer advice, but the advice is obvious from the polling numbers. Without me saying it, if I'm telling you from the data that the top issues that matter to voters is jobs, economy, and education, you know what to do.
What about on the NDC side, if you're a strategist, for instance, would you say we have to keep shouting on corruption more because maybe in the end, the last minute, these people can bring some monies, borrow some money somewhere to start pumping into education. So let us not hang on to the first 3 things we are talking about, rather serious things like trust, monies being hidden and stolen, and corruption in general. So I will advise NDC to revive and shout about these things more. What do you say to this? You think it's trivial? I mean, wishful thinking.
No, if we don't advise government, why should we advise opposition party?
I'm not saying you should advise. We are just discussing it. I mean, as a strategy,
okay.
If you are a strategist, I'm not saying you should use your your capacity to advise. No. Just conversational. Yeah.
All right. Generally, I mean, political parties must understand that you cannot win election without polling. Sometimes what you feel is important to you as a party may not be important to the voters. So you must constantly engage the voters get that regular opinion poll and see what issues, if you pursue, will really give you upper hand. So beyond the top issues, you must also do a proper survey and see what issues matter to voters. And then also we should stop one size fit all kind of campaign strategy. Look, the top issues for voters in Sekendi, Takoradi, Efia, Kosimintim, you know what it is? Water and sanitation. You see, so you must know everywhere, when you get there, what are their top issues? You cannot do one size fit all. So data will be key in winning 2024 elections. Those who work with data and understand how to use data will prevail. And those who cannot work with data will struggle. No, do you mean the general election or the primaries?
No, for primaries. I will even vote for him.
The general election.
I will vote for him.
General
But
election.
see, in general election is what I'm talking about. You said data.
See,
maybe I didn't understand you. I'm
No,
understanding you in a
in
different, angle.
Okay. I mean, by data, I mean understanding what the voters want.
Sure.
What is important for them. Every region
So it's
will have
going to be
certain
local issues, isn't it?
Yes, local issues. But there will be ones that will be broad, national in character. But if you are campaigning, you must first start on the national ones. And then wherever you are, you zoom down to local issues. Then you can connect to the voters locally.
I see. Before you go, let me ask you, the NDC UK Ireland chapter, the election is still pending, protracted one. I remember you did a survey some time ago, thinking that last year the election would come on, and it never did. I think they've slated it now. It is actually confirmed that 7th of October. Is there any room in your schedule to do another polling on this for us? If not, it's not a big deal.
Yes, I mean we can help it.
But if you can, it will help a lot.
Yes, we can help you do.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we can do a poll for you. Once you can share it on to the members who are going to vote, we can tell you how the members are voting. And I think with UK, they are mostly on online, so it will be much easier for us to deploy the tool online to where they can give us their view. We can do that. That's not a big deal, certainly.
I will kindly, informal through this medium, ask you if you know the names. It's the same 4 people. I want us to, to concentrate on the chairmanship race. The same 4 names. If you can, draft something next 2, 3, 4 days or so. Bring the result, but if you can draft something so that we push it across and see what we can get before the election, that would be very helpful indeed.
We'll do that. We'll do that for you.
Right. So, Mr. Musa Dankwa, I will say thank you very much. But lastly, the whole country, Ghana, where do you think we stand in the next, you are much, much younger than me, next 5, 10, 15 years? Where do we think the direction of travel is?
No, I'm a very optimistic person. And I would like people to be optimistic, because without optimism and hope, there's no need for life. And I believe that whoever becomes the next president would have to turn the constitution on its head. We need to fundamentally change the constitution to begin to make big impact in this country. And I'll urge whoever wins to put the constitution to the slaughterhouse and slaughter it, because all our problems today emanates from the constitution. And I believe once we do that,
I'm surprised you. It's not a put down, but let me put you in this category and use the words like, I'm surprised you too are saying this, because my argument is that no constitution on this planet is sacrosanct, is airtight or sea tight or watertight or anything. That flexibility is there. Okay. On the other hand, if you had a leader directly opposite, in character, or of that of Akufo-Addo, directly opposite. Then you will see that that leader could manage with this constitution, and there won't be too much of a problem. So asking for is like asking for something. You should be very careful. What exactly do you think is wrong with the constitution that needs to be changed, apart from just hammering it and chopping it across and everything?
You see, the framers of the constitution had a belief that Ghanaian leaders would be rational, and people rational when performing their duties.
Yes.
We have come to realize that this country, we haven't got the training to enable us to take decisions when nobody's looking. Look, I'm struggling to find the right words for it, in the sense that when you put Ghanaian in a room where there was nobody looking at him or watching over him, he will do the wrong thing. Average Ghanaian will not behave well unless he's being watched. So on that basis, the kind of powers we have put in the hands of the president and some agencies of state assume that those people will be using those powers judiciously. And that has been the case. Until we have society where we are able to do things right without being prompted, that's when we can have a position that's flexible like us. In this case, what we're asking for is that we must spell out a lot of things and curtail powers deliberately so that people will not go beyond certain boundaries, and put in mechanisms to ensure that any absolute power is reined in by an institution.
Because the reason why I ask you this is that some are of the view that if we are lucky to get a different group of people with different set of mentality, and they want to use the rule of law robustly, and they'll use the rule of law in a character of a revolution time, for instance, the way people are chased for monies suspected to have been, it won't be buga killing and here, but they will use the law vigorously to get some monies back, to punish wrongdoers, instead of saying, oh, the fault is all the constitution. So people will go scot-free, as they say. What do you answer to that?
No. You see, we're not, for example, let's take the constitution on the police service and the IGP appointments. In the UK, the Prime Minister doesn't appoint the Chief Constable of Police.
No.
And they will not even. So what can we do here to make sure that the police appointment or the IGP is appointed within by a system that is devoid of the president?
Sure.
Why should the vice president chairing the police council? And we know how people use.
You are bringing even more conversation there. He chairs the police council, and yet we found that there are so many problems there that he doesn't even mention. He doesn't care about promotions, about dissatisfaction, disrespectful to senior authorities, and that and that and that. So it means even that side is not working.
What we are asking for is that a constitution that will strengthen the institutions of the state.
Yes.
Away.
Yeah. Go ahead. You see, it's true, certain narratives will have to be changed, shaped. But in all, I think the Constitution, not everything is bad, so to speak. I think we will agree on that.
No, we're not saying.
Listen, Mr. Musa Dankwa, thank you very much indeed. You've acquitted yourself very well. And I'm looking forward to what you can do in respect of the elections in the UK here, what you can do for us in terms of polling and asking people where they stand. And if you need any info, just get back to me regarding names and what. But nothing has changed anyway. Listen, thank you and have a great evening.
You too, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so now the time that is remaining, we are going to use it to discuss NDC UK Ireland election and rising, God is the other matters and rising matters. You see what I mean?
When you were baby, your mama told you not to play with fire. Fire will burn you.
I have to just say it bluntly that I hear that someone did organize a debate, and some people were telling me, I heard that some people didn't turn up because, and this, look, those who didn't turn up didn't say anything. I'm rather hearing from third sources that maybe those who didn't turn up felt they were being lured into some sort of uncompromising or a hostile terrain. The word here, operational word, is hostile. And I'm thinking, if that is true, that is really not right. Because as a party, as a group, whoever organizes a debate or whatever it is, it should be level playing field. I'm not accusing anybody. I hope it was really, I hope those information I'm getting is wrong. Because I've been told that some people, they didn't attend because they felt they were being tricked into a trap, and that where the election or how the debate was being conducted was rather too hostile to some people. I don't know how true it is, but very soon I'll try and get some explanation from from one side or the other. So just like you heard Mr. Musa Dankwa say, he is going to help to do some polling, so I will know what is happening here in the UK as well. Earlier on, I had the confirmation from Mr. Owusu Achao. He was, or he's still the deputy. Okay, thank you. The deputy communication officer for the NDC here in the UK Ireland chapter. So we just wait for his call to come and explain his part as he knows it. So all of you who are here, I can see Mr. Ambrose, Dr. Ambrose Amenshia. You are here. If you want to say something, the line is still opened. You can jump in to say your piece about what you heard from the Info Analytics Director. So you heard from Mr. Musa Dankwa. He explained everything with figures. In fact, that guy is very brilliant. You know, when he worked here in the UK, he worked at the city. When they say city, we are talking about Docklands, where they do the counting of money. They deal with big figures and counting and money crunching and figure mathematics, arithmetic as well. So his company, Info Analytics, they do survey. And I'm telling you, their accuracy is between 95 and 98%. In everybody's book, that is very good indeed. He has accepted that he is going to conduct a poll surveyor on the election here in the UK. So hopefully, HJB, as they say, we'll hear from them or from him.
Con la mejor música del mundo.
Okay, one. Ojaye!
Another issue here I want to talk about is that the minority in parliament. I don't see any minority there, but they call themselves minority. Okay, we'll give them that accolade, but yeah, it's up to them. They are saying that, according to them, he said the minority in parliament has uncovered yet another clandestine attempt by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government to borrow a staggering $431.5 million using GNPC without the approval of Parliament. The minority has cited authoritative documents to the effect that this decision was taken at a recent meeting at the presidency held at the instance of President Akufo-Addo and chaired by the president himself, the chief of staff, the minister of finance, deputy minister of energy, board chairman, and chief executive officer of the GNPC were all present in a said meeting at which the president instructed GNPC to borrow this amount from Lukoil. I think Lukoil is Russian company, Lukoil International Trading and Supply Company, with allocations as follows. He said 155 million for the refinancing of Litasco debt. So it's refinancing of debt, okay. 150 million to settle the debt owed by government of Ghana to Kapawa. Jesus Christ. $126.5 million to renew the Kapawa bank guarantees. So to pay the debt and another more money to renew the bank guarantee. Ayo, running of a country. Anyway, the minority is highly scandalized by this development, which effectively is an attempt. Okay, thank you. It's an attempt to sidestep Parliament and violate the laws of Ghana. It will be recalled that before Parliament went on its recent recess, a GMPC had a table for parliamentary approval, a loan facility of 650 million as part of its work program and budget for 2023. The Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Energy subsequently considered this request and directed GMPC to submit the full terms of this loan agreement for consideration and approval in line with Article 181 of the 1992 Constitution, which everybody wants us to throw away anyway. Even before GNPC returns to Parliament with the detailed terms of the loan request, President Akufo-Addo has, through an executive fiat, ordered GNPC to commit Ghana to another loan to the tune of 431.5 million using oil from 10 fields as collateral for over 5 years. This loan is being contracted at an interest rate of SOFR, I don't know what it is, 1 month plus one margin, I don't know what it is, and a structure fee of 2.5% flat rate, 2% of all those millions. Even more worrying for us in the minority is the fact that this shady arrangement is being routed through the tainted and controversial SPV, that special purpose vehicle called Jubilee Oil Holdings Limited, from which government intends to rely on as a source of repayment instead of relying on proceeds from the government of Ghana. Not too long ago, Parliament had cause to query the Minister of Finance over. If you ring me, stay there so that I pick you. If you ring and you put it back, then that's it. Anyway, he said not too long ago, Parliament had cause to query the Minister of Finance over the decision to lodge $100 million of petroleum proceeds in this corrupt vehicle called JOHL, Jubilee Oil Holding Limited. Instead of the Petroleum Holding Fund as required under the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. It thus appears that the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government is bent on proceeding with this illegality. Apart from the clear breach of the laws of Ghana regarding approval of such loan agreements, it is our contention that this whole arrangement will further hinder GNPC's ability to obtain the needed funds to focus on its core mandate, such as continuing the reconnaissance works on the Volta Basin project and fulfilling its cash call obligations. The minority's biggest concern of all this is the fact that this agreement affects all participating interests held directly or indirectly by the seller, government of Ghana, including royalty entitlement. I think it's better if I wear my spectacles, otherwise I make too many mistakes. It's not nice, it's not good, it's not proper. And if I can wear it, I think I can wear it. So, I'll see. In the light of the above concerns, the minority hereby calls on civil society organizations and all well-meaning Ghanaians to rise up and speak against yet another attempt by Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government to once again collateralize Ghana's oil resources for their short-term expediency. We cannot allow this unbridled and reckless borrowing, which has already brought Ghana's economy to its knees, to continue. In the coming days, the minority in Parliament will be taking steps to hold the necessary government officials, including officials of the GNPC, to provide the necessary answers. And this is signed by John Abdullahi Junapo, MP Yape Kusaugu, Ranking Member, Committee on Mines and Energy. So obviously, I've already made all the arrangement to get either John himself or Adongo to come on Zoom one of these days to explain what is going on. But you see, the passage in this statement is what I worry, because the parliament, the minority is actually calling on the people outside the parliament to rise up against this, alleged illegality. It means the minority in parliament, and parliament itself is hopeless at dealing with what they're supposed to deal with. So if we, the people of the country, vote you parliamentarians, in order for us to also turn around to actually, hold the government to account, not because maybe that government policies is affecting us directly, but because the parliament is hopeless and useless, that itself is a shame. Like I say, I've already organized or arranged for a showdown with one of these guys from the NDC position to come and explain all this, what is going on. Mr. Owusu Achawa, I want to know if you will be ready to come and talk to us. Obviously, if you won't be ready to, let me know, because I need to move on and organize another call to somebody, which is also very important. So let me know, Mr. Owusu Achawa, if you want to come and do the talking. If you don't want to do, or you haven't got the freedom or availability or the capacity to do this talking, kindly be nice to Mansa Musa and come and tell us, or call me or send me a message saying that I'm sorry. It's better that way than to just sit and hope, which is not nice at all. You are listening to Mansa Musa. The program, as usual, is Fire Ubenyu.
Sydney Discotheque, verano
NFM
del
Radio.
79, con la mejor música del mundo.
Okay, what? Ojaye!
Hello, Mr. Oso Chow. I am Moajo.
Mansa Musa Musa.
Maybe I'm a cordial.
I don't be able to Musa.
Oh, Miss Me here because, and then she'll be a toy, and she'll know I went me umbrella. I can't believe it. Now, more, and this is for umbrellas, and I tell you, I say, hey, umbrella, to me, I say, I know you did golf. Umbrella, boarding. Umbrella, Johnny, that's me feel so be to me, no. But see, from here to two spokes, can you imagine? You see, it's not good. Anyway.
From a phone in forecast, if you umbrella or come
my grandfather and a kind say, look, Obi Crow, Kessia ne than an eye not or the grow, not the Odi Asafo, not the sour ban, a brass band, I see. Obi should dear kit be on anti-crime area. It is a full big car. Well, anyway, these are serious issues, especially Libya and the rest of them. We can't joke with it. Anyway, I don't know. I hope so. When you're quite here, info analytics, man, ne kakra about polls or more year regarding MPP, election, no, a register no near there. And come on, idea, and when you're kakra bit here.
And I'm interment me unfairly, and I'm busy because when you're emergency big for
Jesus
Christ, program now.
Because he has brought a lot of information. Our promises are about the year polls to cry my.
Don't worry,
No, yes, I'm worried. I'm worried that you didn't hear. And yes, I'm worried for myself. Because I thought you need that info going forward. Because someone kind of would do. And yet for your party here, but for your success and everything in Ghana. Okay, can't someone can say, pa?
And then because send me info analytics, me follow power on
anyway, put to me a Facebook, a YouTube, no sir.
I'm a complaint back. If you are my coffee, you're my coffee.
Akwaba, look, Martin and Sembi. And someone Martin is saying, it's not, look, I have to be very honest, it's not coming from those who are concerned, but from third parties, because that means you'll be doing come on and say, can you imagine, say, or arrangement be only arrangement for debate? Now, be more. Oh, the Pakoli Chamano say, the reason that they didn't go, no, is because they think that it was a trap, and that platform was a hostile platform. Also, did you that platform, no, Nipa 2 number? Do you think it was a trap or a hostile platform? To undermine some people.
Mansa Musa. Say enche also be debate me boy.
So mobile penedia, so we are no way the kusia, we are no way the kusia, and to me no ma. To be honest, my bremo kakra. I mean, look, me the air course for Ghana no here me crash him. And Timono, I had to say, Mammy, you're very bold, and yes, a woo in particular, you're nothing personal. But Mono, you know, I had to say more chremo kakra, and I don't want to be bothered anymore. Everyone crash a master in front of it is on your pulse be mine. But there we go.
Yeah, Mansa say, yeah, like after Tim Conrad, you see, even say, Mansa said this, bedroom corner of for debate. Yeah, I read. And to the question say, I don't know Mama Tandy, okay, 2020 elections. Why are you running?
When you my bedroom now, my bro, I know, Kakrano, Branty, when my bedroom. I said, Benny.
And you'll be the veteran of videos to say, on why ready for debate. Me boy. Some couple of weeks ago, so I ready for debate anywhere. And branch organizers, we this chapter now, yeah, quite say organizers, one amount to about my men, one organize you, say, host platform, me boy, I must say, top we are. Top platform, can I be say, who stands in your host? Me, the piano. A Juma ye, a 200 Juma, but would you could be able to do? Would you board the arbitra body? And Kofo will be some way debate. Oh, yeah, Mansa a year more organized here, your more debating. I'm almost the 1st October. Branch Chama for some sort of organized debate. Same to say, almost Obokana uncle. Me and yes, sir, Mansa Musa, so we debate, Mama. In 2020 elections, yes, why are you running? I don't know, Johnny. Young Cook Birmingham, I'm going to like question and answer. I don't have to Birmingham and the baby because we should be no Mujani. Mansa Musa, and some also. But Enra, boy, we are so real question because Enra, you hear me, pa. Mansa Musa, baby, the big, beer, they make economic and some another.
Manya info bi say I mean himself was say baby but say sikasem a wo boss no 18,000 manya info bi say no credit enye 18,000 na sika no so problem e wa han say odi ko to na account mu no na emom sika no ko do Ghana asumudu and there is no issue there. That's what I've heard.
Mati. George, my executive member, I will run Obaya chapter with Chairman.
Also, if we are me catch you say from George.
No, I'm not talking about George, man. But I'm not saying and no, or you saying correct. Mansa may prove our platform so. So the beer more big than beer, they make can and I want to make from say them quite crap. Mansa Musa me pull me park out. Me paka. Assembly, me as executive member, I'm here who see blue one. I'm the bar thing. Mansa Musa, you raise 18,000 pounds. Then the 15,000 coin. Any other day I can hear administrating purpose for this chapter. Say, you raise funds. Mansa Musa, they are never quite me. And say that money was raised in Tamana covered area. Portfolio so mujuma. So we can fellow name how much kind of terms of music. Yes. And people try to donate 50, 20, 100, 200. It is not says cano. Me, myself say, and you done it in really says cano, Mansa Musa. Mammy Mobudin be no yammy pa. Yet, fundraising committee, Mansa Musa, we are met for the BBM out.
Okay.
Fundraising committee, no. General Tiana chairman. On one chairperson, sorry. Akosiakwa chef it on all vice for Wabe chapter. A Afghan candidate for chairman. On a vice chairman, I mean, Boa Mansa Musa. Caesar, on a secretary. David Kwa, no a member. Helena, I don't call a crew, no a member. Inban South branch chairman, on no a member. And Edwin is no a member, because Inban Karamuko Treno. Francis Toto was no a member. Nana Debra no a member. Marigana no a member. Mansa Musa. So some members were nipa 10. Etime for the whole branch. Go for the Mrs. Busa says some members were Sikane Kwa Kanomuni Mubiana. George man, on in another Bromu cruise far, Bomusa, because George man say, or no as executive, me executive, no. Sikane Quakran, another balloon move, as a member of the just a fundraising committee. Mansa, Sake so Yenemo, Mimaka. The question is,
Ubi Finasika, just say, Sikano, Obia complaining, say, Aira, Anna.
Thank you. What we are saying is that the air can a young more things be a coffee so I can't have a call. That you. There yet some say, and that's my can say. Sikana really hano. A quam bear soon if it starts, we can call Accra, a call Ghana. Yes, see letter by Mansa Musa, you were 2023. Letter by and up to date, Mansa Musa, be a new letter. The friend acknowledgement letter. Because chapter members need read this card. So letter, but the other share letter, no, and from my branches, no. And now, sir, even the 10-member family committee, no, what Mansa Musa make me 10-member committee now must have a nobody, I repeat, nobody has seen that letter. And fear Accra by. And the judge, my can say, and you're correct. And I made tea dry in my own pass, so be a 5-4. So, Baba, chapter chairman. Oh, say family, that's my can get a credit. Members of Muti as my makers and bois. Or see any credit and see because or see a meeting now. I cry member, the penny back over catch there, say, Sikane Koi. I'm not interested in that too, Mansa Musa. I am not interested to be a Sikane Koi. We interested in say. You are talking about because NDC was formed based on what? Probity and accountability. I don't know here run from probity and accountability. So we are leader of the chapter. Oh, you can. Sikana call. What is for accounting? But for accounting, Sikana call. I'm going to say, Uncle, let the buy and bet say, let the say, George man so Mimi Boyan correct. So you chapter of Sama with control. Me, chapter members, me say, this election belongs to you guys. The Biameka Sasson. The chapter be ya if you more chapter members. Send ya if you more chapter members. Judgment sound truckers here and run our videos and any credit. Or but the Biobas we have something me say. Sikano 15,000 here, really 18 and 50 the call. Oh no, judgment, no, I remember the family committee when the movie. On the movie. No, I remember. Yeah, can't ask me. No one can say. Or a member with our executive member. And the fundraising committee, some bomb any part time, a bomb in a team. So I'm say, receive the benefit, acknowledging letter Omahu since 2020, Omahu letter no. A conversion is kind of fast to quack. As I'm saying, yeah, to go where do. Chapter away, and this new be there. We are not taking word from anybody. Yeah, slow be means that be a mecate part way more. I dear back on Mansa Musa bear me as a military party baby be a emphata. And the party constitutional enco. Me ma come, miss me a receive blow on my cancer some way. But so vice for chapter chairman now because I summon any credit. Meanwhile, the air can you not say any credit. Then it's here as a vice chair or because I some way. Or because I some way. Or many bread raises got Frank Crawford. Sikane call Ghana and who can fast go Ghana. Mansa Musa, say chapter time at me, you said can go account to my man. I can't say it's me in Pichino. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mansa Musa. Obian Cassis Sikana Yera. Obian Cassis Sikano Yedi. But Yebusa, probity and accountability. This is the question. This is the answer of the memo. because
Now, Accra, no. Sikano, now it was meant to go to Accra, Meboa.
yes, campaign money, yes.
Accra for complaint says Kebiama.
Mansa Musa me that say. In fact, show fit. That's fra. Accra select by Meboa.
I don't know. Meantime, me busa say Accra for almost a complaint say we were expecting some monies. We didn't receive it. Bibi Saba.
Mansa Musa, in a reason fundraising say the Accra. Na say sikana Accra no. A quam best is kind of far Accra. A still letter for Accra. Mun police letter in my hand. Mansa Musa, I'm not talking about Accra. Me any problem. Aha, asem na make. Me any problem. And ya complaints kana anko. Sika. Yeah, sika. Chapter sika. Ni reason fundraising. Yeah, members sika. Ite bi clients can go letter ba. Yeah, letter no produce letter na yeah letter no. Mansa Musa asem we mi nye.
Almost say letter fi here ba.
Letter from Accra, acknowledgement letter. Sebia, Mansa Musa, you said my better idea. What is here? Oh, thank you. You must letter no.
Now, a process is bend the war, procedure bend the war, obey to me, Ebusa Accra say, look, we are expecting some acknowledgement from Sebia, Sikebia, yeah, Sene, yeah, members, no, ye who na must send this acknowledgement, you know, as Musaka scano. Why yes, sir, inquiries, no?
Mansa Musa, ye meeting, chapter chairman and secretary say, it's going to require letter back. A letter, no, Mansa Musa, you
From what I know, more director, overseas director, have acknowledged apparently on one of your meetings, your platforms, to say everything is in order. They had the money. And so what is your problem?
I'm not taking a letter before I will do. I think we don't be a car. I want meet na movie. I'm not taking a letter before I will say be our country there be yes say probity and accountability in your receipt.
No, I'm not stopping you for demanding probity academy. In fact, coming from where I come from within the history of Ghana, no, I want to be a champion of that. I think you are asking the correct question. But my question is, have you made inquiries to Accra? Say, look, this is what we are being told. Now, me per se who say no cra na Mansa can be. Now, mo send a acknowledgement letter. Something like this, no secret. Deputy communication officer. So even a copy of email can be sent to you. So that because when you're secretary this year, I'm asking, sir, why you be sir?
Mansa Musa, there be mimi dia ye meeting no ye select a free Accra. It's ye person you won't let no. I free Accra ba and you be say catch Accra say. Let us say naba. Mansa Musa ni ye nhwe and ye hwehwe.
Now why let no ABC why ho say chairman any secretary any
yes secretariat
any more treasury and
what I mean by ABC secretariat.
Okay.
And then a chairman when we read says a letter number. Letter na Mansa Musa me inform any muda. And we demand that letter. That letter ni ensa kan and the twas the be. Me ni atwa ni asem. Ahana some na maker.
Make me say Sakra can be Sakra no wo no wonjini.
There be Mansa Musa. Why are you I didn't know Obia Kasano or Kwaka? I'm not talking about
a question. Accra is this kind of way. And I'm saying Martin. Bia Sabia me boy nyano krese Obia confirm if you are crying catch me. You got Martin say Mupeni or Dama no ewa Accra say wa acknowledge say almost Skabina. I don't know there.
Matthias here. Mati, me judge my
just say Gina won't Accra ndi and now say
I'm Musa. And now about me, Yak, meaning the view what they call. Nya Accra, some American. Yea, chapter members need raises the Kawaha. And they say, Sikanaba Paul, ye account, ye should probably accountability.
Okay.
Accra, dear, Oka Accra, my senator for Accra, me many win. And then I'm here quite is Accra. We can have them.
Okay. All right. Yet, yes, ask us something if you are now. One day, no, let me come and say, Mimi T say, Obi organize your friends say debate. Now, debate, you know, maybe everyone say, two of the contestants, you know, and to me, Krabika say, this is not normal. Why wouldn't they come? I mean, be hear me program. After the Martin say, the reason why Obi Kachem said the reason why other two numbers say they felt say the whole that platform was going to be hostile to them. And when I say so bet me a yanwa.
Well, can the best sense can think a branch organizers because organizing can be yano. But you know, to my knowledge, so say host and partial program they call a host and Obiana. We could do that.
Some rap say, Oba making comments to me, Mammy Casa. No, Yankee, China, who can be say, oh, who making comment to be say, oh, now, who say the question, Obiana? The reason I just say, you actually have the who dreams a beer or more koi, and they're feeling something. So be feeling be and I say, what they and where the NATO so say, beer. Let me there be Miria made it a program represented because it belongs to the branch organizers. I'm going to organize this program. Okay. Maminfa idea we into Jana Twaso. What will Fred this line Skype no I'm sorry. That number is engaged. That number is engaged. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Also. But they made me phone a befro. You could be a pacron, you need more any, for all the other two so. For two name frozen, yeah. Because be any pacrono, do need more any, they are offering. And let's see. 0872, hello. Hello, 0872. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mansa Musa.
Lons.
Hello, senior.
Okay, maybe 1 second because now also a child board and because he said, oh, friend, on cabinet say one can make us a friend me private, no, but not me number me
phone it program actually.
Okay, that's also you're correct because I confuse me. So I say one I will direct you to go somewhere. And
make me the way not so it will be
no problem. So what free we? What free we? Until my catcher also a chance say, on you know me a main friend, and you know. Let me get to also a chance to finish his point.
His submission. Okay, all right. Okay.
Until you know, man, ko baby. Right. Mansa Musa na mo tie ni o. Akwa because he would be na ye program near friend or fire will burn you. Mr. Uso Achai, the current communication officer, Emma NDC UK Ireland. Also, you are back.
Yeah, Mansa Musa. Yeah.
Hello.
Mansa Musa, me too.
Okay. Any 12 we in common this way.
Good. Mansa Musa, I program na about na branch organizers. I'm not a spokesperson for that organizers now. But media may also be me how a program is here. And I mean the media had answered and said there was no poster there because Obia or her program media I'm for Accra done almost chapter my idea.
Yeah, me bow. Sound him say, what can say there's no hostility no crap because Nipa no so beka hono no feel say bia. And that is the assumption. I will be catching him, you know. they felt it is going to be hostile and when yet playing in front, you know, obi or here, no, any background on ya hostility because of mama.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. So we have a program now. Who's a program? Not yes. Because say host, I mean, just you. Because almost about to challenge your world for you to say anywhere. And I don't me. And say branches now. Yeah, cost yourself on metro about my. I'm organizers. And I organize. And the 1st October, my teacher say the branch chairman should organize another question and answer. So me and you who's out. Me and you who's out. Sometimes I need be debating. Was it a host star? Was it a host star? Hammy. Sometimes I hammy. But once I never before say, what be a question and answer? Branch for any train on the 7th. You meet me a can.
Ain't he? In all, no, who feel say, what, you know, their questioning, you know, sabi ne papa mu a mo kuo no gina ne nan so ana de wontwentu mo eba.
Oh, Mansa me what I saw a organizers in Yemen mo ye no. I can see said you can launch your future.
Me here also channel.
The way I almost did some few days me organize this program as a branch organizers in the first week. Mansa Meniaje, it was so beautiful and to be a Christian and sneakers are a host. I feel sorry for that person.
Anyway, I have to repeat, say
I feel so sorry for that candidate.
I have to say this, say those who are concerned and young money.
Some dispel our notion.
But I feel sorry for the candidate.
Mr. A friend saying, Lance, what's it?
Hello, Mansa.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Mansa, but what to make her?
After the tune, first now we in a kakra.
By Mamifa and Chakasia Emma, ye chief for Anna Minia Owusu, a child, the campaign manager for ye other one of our competitors or contestants. Now, me Kasa be pray. Now, the mess ceremony and say, Oman the cracker and Kana Brabo. Ye Busia Baku.
There you can money crank up as I say. Lons.
I think.
Hello, senior.
Maybe what am I in Casa? No, why rebate?
Baby, or cousin, my money crank the opposite say, Mansa Musa. This time, no.
Also, Patrona, but from a candidate as a liar.
Baby,
to see I.
Lons, no. Lons, meaning the Miami. But men can want some of you, so I know. We need a Muria Quack, Miami. But I'm still yes, Lons. I mentioned your name. You, Makekudia boy. Yes, wo Makekudia boy. If I may body, minimum the Miami by me found. After we were found to my paper, 7 October.
Also, may I sorry, some now can maintain Tina may.
Yeah, one thing I say, but I mean it. They only minimum the Miami. Because chapter more person call a person, I mean, class, my candidate to a chapter. Me knew be any more issue, be an last minute, go be answer. I don't have time. Yes, what the king's information be beer when I publish it. Lost, Mammy can say.
Mansa, Mammy Sancho, swim say.
Okay, lost. Yeah, what Bass said.
I mean, baby, or but Mate in some Katra Waka. Also, me patrol. Me knew near some, and I team no, you knew near some, you knew be near some. Na Sabe, Manisha Sunaso. I will see a board, swung. Yet Hano say, ye no my, and I will fire the opportunity and say, I will say a Cassatra, one or more menya or master neck, and ranch it more. The candidate in ya at the ma woman. Say Ubu, the America Sama, I did won't come a brabo. We have had an authority, and I say, yes, sir, our idea say, my executive meetings. Honorable Alex Segbefia, who is your director, I displayed the fact I consider I catch executive and yawu so be me say and yawu he did not address you directly, but or address the issue. No, I think say wana infantile no what dwene enhyeden see on tiase because accusations are we and I was saying for both in catch will say. Sasika na wo kan ye nyina ye tue bi day na omo ye presentation wo national headquarters na I was there na me wo ho mintimi se na wo Ghana na wo call constituency dia na me nimje but me na me wo Greater Accra myself David Kwao Chairman Mbaba the General Secretary Michael Kudiabo the Deputy Audu Van Bell Alfred Bohan
you need General Secretary
Pacho Tieme Pacho wakasa bebre na me wo ho Emma me crample me post two sa presentation Emma obi catch me say me free your platforms ni bi because for security threat am say me need yeah donations and so what makes it security threat ye nya mofra but for you to come and because a judgment e be din tro men nya sa what emwa enye ye call elections o candidate wo campaign man no me nyankopon kwa ebetime na so mintimi nfa akwanya bia so nkasa the way I wo kasa atia me candidate no de me candidate ne katre wo no ayenkyekye mu no de baaye nkyekye mu de baaye ni nyina so ne say nipa na ye disika no koma no na se party de bi ye disika no koye no acknowledge the fact say indeed we made a donation. Yes, we betimi akase Chairman Mbaba Edisicano to an account for other whichever reasons, which obviously any candidate needs to move. But who sambe jina ahum? Hello, senior.
Mr. Alonso.
All right, please.
Me bow. Also a chance on a concern. They say, okay, say you better say a crack. Say everything is in order. I think he has the right to demand your friends a receipt of acknowledgement of Obika the receipt of that money, no, if you are crying, no, and say either in email or paper form, hardcover, whatever it is, he has every right to demand that. And
me patrol menene ya doing 100%. That is the more reason why or more executive meetings are me believe we say a raises our issue, no, and the director of the International Relations Department of the NDC. Famous say yes, they received the money appropriately through the necessary channels. Now the NTR I issue receipt. Some more platform or more meeting can the NTR I didn't issue receipt. No, be assured seminal Honorable Alex Segbefia, Dr. Carl Ahin, and my classmate or former deputy Fred Agbonu. Nina correspondence and combat my corresponding. But Mansa, me person me say, yeah, campaigning for your various candidates are yeah, sade we nyina no. Ye hu say ye nipa baako. Ye hu say ye busua. Ye hu say ye konkon baako. Na ubegyina radio so ka say na obi ye liar, obi twantro, bebia ye free no. Yen kasa penyine nim sa. Me respect authority. Ye me candidate me swe free no no. O se emfa ho se nipa miensa ana monam na mienu kra agree a respect mienu decision. Enti me se menu wo se me panocho on your obey the campaign akane nsem bebia onye me candidate ni din free mu say na wa begina ho we twan tro ana obi a yen kasasa me panocho me wo ye menua me ana me kano say me ma party politics entity yentem Sabu Manusis Naso. Minya sure say o susia bibia to me o twem sene obi yema man na bibia to me obi jam ho because say me Dr. George Man campaign manager. Me de me ho board Dr. George Man na minim ye besie. Yes madam for no kwesi akwa chairman kwesi akwa Francis our Sheffield. Any doctor ebe cost me membership in Telford. I still went ahead and do it because I believed not only in their visions, but now me full say NDC into sa. into Miss Reno, a panicho. Obetumi aka ne nsɛm nyina na mmom no onni mpoatwa ne sɛ wɔfrɛ me candidate sɛ wɔyɛ truthful ana wabɛlie ne nyɛ fɛ minti owusu yɛ minua
this okay what you say you got to advise each other. My point in say is it right for I mean shouldn't be the case to say nipa na otua sika no ekoye no say mu nyina mo team ho ase say okay oh enya hwe ye mu ye ne ngu so fine but nipa ba ko kaka say no I need to know say paperwork e wo ho a. Why is it that all of you are not fighting to get that paperwork out? At least to keep some people quiet.
Mansa Musa, me ma unyo question. That issue has been resolved. And they've been to meetings where the IRD omo ye show ma so mo ye omo ka say ne chapter we nya adwuma yentimi nya hwe no. Panyina woda no eye honorable Alex Befia ba be ka say. Say sika na menua owusu e chow campaign manager for one of the contestants and I say competitors no. I can't nya no cre. Na no cre say your friend is saying fans are you raising ye no. Sika baby e defa ye bia obi ansa Canadian. And it's up to him to consult those or that authority for him to confirm. Nipa no kwa kan ama minim say nipa na ka kire ne say it's dead and gone. The office of the former president acknowledge it.
Look, I'm playing my devil's advocate here.
No, I'm listening very well, and I'm very happy to engage.
The proper way to settle this is not only from one side. Some more organization, the payment method ni nyina no ehun paperwork wo ho. The recipient, you know, I can be so means I can. So maybe come organization and say, no, I want to know how the payment was done. It means me here records from the source of the money now. And no, everyone has the right. Because just because the headquarters are can
okay, Mansa Musa ntimi pato meti hey ye na ye betro letter say ye demanding to mum family no maka so mum family obende
no, correct. No. We don't do things like that. Say you can't say there. And the some waste. And the billion, almost billions in a year of Ghana, no. The same attitude.
And so, and when a man for person more practice to a high CM plan. Man, some say to me, ya famudi. I remember 2020. Me platform me ye receive funds be brave. Ya adopted constituencies bear for a big crime me die say. When I make a show. Obi frame me, Obi executive or contesting one of the executives. Or say, I know you are a Votarian. I don't know who raise the funds a constituency in the Western region or one more adopted constituencies in the Western region. But I need a sad issue. But the year can you say? I deny a sell or Masino would take you or more directions from the party. You know, I recognize the fact to say, Assembly is dead and gone. Yes, fans na murezi ya no. Yen saka sikano. It is not up to
Mr. Lons, here, look, me no, I don't doubt anybody's integrity after I'm in Kahubi, and I'm not taking sides. But I'm looking at the proper way of doing things. Up to now, you don't even have the audit report for your accounts. And it is obedient Hanas or you're doubtful. The only thing to shut him up and they say, documents in India, now walk away and go home and give us peace of mind. That's what got to be done.
Mansa Musa, maybe I just scanning and farm now. Young fan to account now who provide bank statement to. The money went to the former president of the Republic of Ghana. Sikano, Yedibi Koma, International Relations Department of the NDC. It's me in their own wisdom, no. So Omo provide a receipt, but then have issued a statement of
fair enough. For some security, internal something reason, you know. Okay, Mitia. Sometimes some donors be or they don't want to be identified. But the point is that Tobuasi, mommy, Tobuasi, listen. Politics now here, you know. Say Mufu say, do some baby I see a trouble, I see a demand accountability, ni probity. They say do baby dia oh, so him say, oh, my kind of any atias, debi. The American said, Obi Bakupe, me no, I'm not siding with him, but to keep him quiet, the documents have to be shown. Say, this is the method of payment. Bank statement, it say, and I chroma bank statement, it say, some monies were paid to the, your friend is saying, the coffers of NDC Accra. If there are no documents at all, it turns out to be money laundering. This is not right.
Mansa Musa, you can ideally, we are looking at idealism and realism, right? Realistically, which qualifies to be realism, near say, at the end, me fa hono evidence that just me fa hono any no approval. And idealism no so just be no say na say
okay, that is fine to know. That is a good point. But Musa,
on
the point, what has been the normal procedure? Every time the ambassador is Koskano, does it go clandestinely without no paperwork, nothing? Sana de biamoyeno.
I don't know your point. I will really say here, but the point is say, Sabe, the first can and comma Sabe, manage to summon. Then they can go to an office or be while you're in charge. Emma Nipano Ekase, Yansaka Sikano. Now, the end here, if you are young friend to me to Jano, these are one or two reasons. But Nipano baby, this can call and Nipano ne, Minia also a town, all the executives, including the 10 members that he mentioned, no. Are you meeting?
Hang on a second. Also, John.
Hey, Mansa Musa.
I will lie so I Dr. Joe Usaj my person basso. And you know, me babe adeno. And me and come bia.
Mansa mama be because I say me kasa because on say
Memo kasa. Me say me adeno. And me because me ba wona obekasa nye loans. And then your loans wona obekasa. Trust me. Let me add your friend saying Joe. Okay. Sorry, Mufan Chemio. I'm trying to add a call to this. That is okay. Oh, I did we cry. Okay, also a channel. Let's talk. Also, hello, also a channel.
Yes, Mansa.
Yeah, Kasa.
Good. Mansa Musa, I mean, show trick beer. So ready that 15,000, 18,000 raise I'm a coin. I mean, show trick one way. Anytime we are, if a research can be an or more linked with the former president. So the long as more kind. And some big video so
Munim sir, Munim sir, very serious.
Yes, Madam Zanyabutre. Me, as my kind of 30 minutes, me more former president, but they were one than Kiko. What I mean is, if we only say letter number, the current chairman Baba was say own show letter nida. Judgment also because they make an inquiry. Mr. Judgment. And Baba catch say be show letter na yem run fee me letter no Mansa Musa. Yes see. We still demand the acknowledgement letter when the issue. Me nyina be bianca da. Hey, yes former president office. Yes headquarters. Me nyina be bianca da Mansa Musa. Me £300. You throw me letter. I bring me card so more damasi.
No, I find it very difficult because I no me okay, I no cano. Acknowledge and I say letter no more dear What is so difficult, sir? Letter more executive no be kana no atum.
After executive, you better share my branches. Mansa Musa, this is the only issue. As someone I make once more. Minkas will be this cow.
Oh, dear.
Me more a crowd, me more credit, me more office. We say, wow, me say,
Yeah, chapter, you need really Sikano. Sikano Quakra, a conversion of France. How was it disbursed? Let the free Accra back, Mansa Musa, 2023. Up to date, you won't let it know. When you do something, it will be a fat trick be, and I also loans me patch out. Side and cohort, men, a game office and cohort. And you mentioned Alexandria. Yes, on the international director, MIA. But me, I'm not talking about Alexandria. Say, yes, Zoom, Sabefia, what did that be? Me, must some say, let the free crab. We need the letter. Yes, my branches, no.
Okay, you know, mommy. Dr. Joe Sajman.
Mansa Musa.
Right, Aquaba.
Medasi. Na me chat for Mansa Musa. Only set me time you say me break a protocol kakra. Share party adwuma no ho. Eni pe bia fe no musia. Mansa Musa NDC. Yenye bi da. See sika bi area command international relations here to bia. On record opa free ayi honorable Kofi Kwachi.
I want my listeners to understand. Oka say they are too dry. Are you talking say they are too public and I say more no and say oka.
The yen say Ojiji scano executive in the catcher almost say Scaseni enya. So say na kwa ha.
Sure.
No omo the letter basse yensaka.
Okay.
My memo example. Ayi asking for change. We do want to pa. Ye disikabi ekoma former president. Letter yensaka ye damas yensaka ska. Edi kromonto.
Yes.
They make out to say
yes.
Because the yen say you will wear the yen.
Listen, and the Oba betias you because
Mansa Musa, Mama Musia, Mansa Musa.
To boss mammy, I see you check us on a fatio. I say about tintin about quetry. Letter now work and the MC in United. I'm say also I can the main problems as I letter no on who be. I'm say he has every right to demand.
Mansa Musa, Mama Musia, Mama Musia can betias here. The own say there were rules and regulations regarding funding political party.
Yes. Yes.
And a Kruma Krano, Omo Mrebia, Omudi sa money laundering and money because I mean person will go into detail, you're public.
Yes.
But the point is, being a former vice chairman, or as someone make a we are free on a book of Fukachi, free comments, the person who not do musuko. And yet this is not the first money at the this can be Brako. Nadia say number one, party accounts. Mansa Musa, Ubit Maka say, you see way, but you two pieces Kase Naka.
Sure.
They make out
sure.
Because but in Pebu or how, Omun Yamaji so Miss Yaduma. Omun Yamaji so who sees your party Aduma. Mansa Musa, me a personal account. Me Macron say, Mrs. Say Naka and Jadi Kronas men Kotomano. Me Bessa me say, me men but political party no, a different. Mansa Musa, and you know, sometimes you know. Kotofofo na omaba no ana omunu se kotodada no mo wedie bi o ana omabetitu omonto mboso omunhua adwuma no asem opa o de to so a fre samkwe fre any senior anase honorable bidemenya they will tell you
okay
letter no yakosia mebo yakosia
no asem pacho yeah
letter no yakosia ye nyina na e wo doubt ne kona mekacho Mansa Musa me meeting plan ansana mako me kwa mitiasem no de ene maadwen se saa na ye no what you say what you no twinchen a madwumem Mansa Musa me control a big budget of money
sure
amo yi no say na issue say na iso kana o matiase but political party antisa
yes
executive no na me can we no your current chairman and na me no obi kasa me see the mistake o ye ni say o ye bibi anko so what to executive anim said na honorable Kofi Kwachi ni others ni ye
sure
but ya wonye ni sa enti na masa argument we nyina aba
but you have right to ask for at least say honestly executive
but onyada I'm telling him say Accra for aba honorable Lesebefia say asam na amudi ato papa no so no ne hukura dwiri no sika nensaka wa wonti bibia se no onno na ye director hwere no directly obey ansa it mean you should onya sa internal politics na fee say ebia. I'm not speaking to defend anyone, but here one party. Media may come experience as a vice chair. The other one say, so won't be BSA. Said an law so can you write to International Relations Department. They will send a letter, whatever you want to know. No, so you will know. Mansa Musa, let me tell you.
My Musa question about content obisun kebi obi ebejanso. Joe, enti no the enfant say ukoye sa fishing expedition no ekohwehwe party sika say mo say the whole world no a political party fund the need there and they will be united ase. Enti who party say bani say mo internal audit accounts e wo krom ha no. If it is made available, I no be revealing these sort of payments and
and you know dear your current chairman amma aya ye nyina qualify ne say auditing said the na honorable Kofi Kwache enne me time na ye no we koto t-shirt say we koto say we enne the any executive for na ye na we manage information
mutumi di a receipt da ho
na because ye koto t-shirt bi kwa Ghana
yes
so me call toy no ye ba bebu akunta man for say 20 pounds dey bi o mo honorable Kofi Kwache say me ye hwiaka because me pay them kwase me wa no mo refi say t-shirt ye dey call no obi fa taxi no dey call party office obi ye say and o say me pass
Joe me ntwa no me ba to wase why na o say baby I won I don't doubt your integrity at all we manage na we could keep budget all these things you are talking about no it should come with receipt nipa kro send a receipt no kro because we blow to kra no a receipt enti e ho no say receipt amba na man for ye chobo and ye we betu bo
Mansa Musa you are getting it wrong because
doesn't make it good.
No Mansa Musa are two different things. If you ask me to go and buy something like t-shirts
yes
you koto through bi ho
yes
chapa na koto we have to provide receipt but if you send money to RRD you don't get any receipt
yes
you get letter
to boase say sa RRD na wo kan no either you send it in various forms either say obi ene two kwan e de coin meboa
yes Mansa Musa
and I say bank transfer
exactly
and she say me bow say no say me come ho na me say okay me busa say was it bank transfer or by a friend saying
mameka be sure
what was it
nanu ya the just the video crossing as enough
yes
honorable can say and yes I doubt the papa gina phone so o gina radio so wo kan bia enka wa bakrum ko kwa anko de beko Mansa Musa ye wo kwan ya ne de ko I don't want to disclose to any because
no, I didn't Joe.
Mansa Musa,
was it by bank transfer? And I say,
Mansa Musa, you don't want to know. I won't disclose it to you.
Well,
but what I can tell you,
at least
disclose it
one of your comrades, not only the
Mansa Musa, the one say, party, you know, and you be in a catch up one thing. Now, honorable Alessandro Fia can say. And yes, I went to Korea and Kasikano taking the money to Ghana and it's so simple. But this time, because of the Sintino,
yes,
young Connie could tria commission 1 year from
sure.
It's just before that,
what we call the fat tap in India.
Nyabutre tap now. We have political party in Tessa, Massa, Nyabutre. Because you are Bemwa, which my name are different. Unia Bemwa. Mansa Musa emrebi political party be talk cast e ba ya man am work country mukra ye careful asma ye can obi o te policy no
me play me devil's advocate me busa o
obi a on te policy no obeka no wa na Mansa Musa me no ka say me policy bia e caps a o mka so o me ko Ghana aka Togo because abanet is on maka ni kura nwurem
okay
it's what we are talking about obi a wonnim no nru e soro hoda no me person met double information but obi onu me medru suru ho minim said na ni penifo tena time prof kraba ye you buy on ye meeting ya there I don't want to go there but me no politics here
as for the payment how it gets to Accra near the idea no what is the your fans says obi so ni se bia on tias here no person ohun nukura wo mu a auditing na wo krom ha no will it show says sika coin
Mansa Musa and then the call for say auditing no and yes sika ko e de ko Ghana kura o sika e de ko Ghana no normally the annual year they say Yejia, omo two platforms, some will be almost the same yenya. Now no, they are swing for city. I send off the sunny year no. What you say? And this kind of bobo dino, me per se platforms on prove the first of all, be debate crown. On prove says 18,000 or cano. And then about that's what you declare now, which is a no correct.
Okay.
In person, I'm on
Secondly,
secondly, yeah, they corner answer and from Cornelia Mansa Musa. The new answer on the concert cannot letaba. Mean disclose because I've been there. My share of say, Minka party secret, Minka bibi.
Sure.
Minka, but Miniano. One share because one day, no, Oba vice, Oba chairman. And Nutina, Mansa Musa, a room may be not a secret assembly bar, yet the breast secretary chairman, executive Omunim. What you say? Sepen movie crab Cromwa, a way fresh chairman, yeah, catcher. One friend secretary say, Omon country other executive no, over work up 5 days no, meaning in the America. Yeah, bomber man, yes, say neighbor. What you say, Yakwa Bermuda, Yakopo Sicida, meaning how it runs.
Anyway, fair enough.
And you know, on Sia, Mr. Emiliano,
Mami Musa, Obia Wabas Minuni Pacro. Now, Munjamenko, before I make call also Sunja, Abotrema, and Mami Musa, near Waba or phone back with me, Nimini Pacro, honestly. Is it 5538? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, my name.
Hello, Mansa Musa.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Reverend Amati, Milton Keynes.
Ah, okay.
Can I talk?
Yes, you can.
Yes, I've sent just a couple of posts regarding this matter. And let me make this emphatically clear. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody is questioning the integrity of the chairman or, secretary, whoever in the secretariat. Now, the chairman is the first among equals. He is not above any of us. So if chairman has an information, it is right for him to pass on that information to the executive members. Now, for chairman to say that I have received a letter, but I'm not going to divulge it to you, you have to ask for the receipt, that letter privately, I don't think it is on. So what Chow is saying, we're not questioning that the money was not sent. But the question was, if the letter is received, respectfully, let the members, you are not publishing it to the public. At the end of the day, we contributed that money to be sent to Accra. So if you are telling the executive that this is the letter that you received, you cannot behave like you are above the executive. We are all equal, but you happen to be the first among the equals, among your equals. So to have an information from Accra, and you don't want to pass that information on to the executive, I don't think Joajman should defend this. Dr. Joajman should defend this. We cannot confuse the issue. It is as simple as that. I was in a meeting, and the chairman said, if you want the receipt, you have to ask for it privately. Why? I don't get it. Why are we prolonging this issue and should bring it to public? It is not necessary. We are all together in the same executive. You are not better than the other executive. We make a group. We are part of a whole an entity. And for somebody to say that I won't tell you what I have received from Accra. Why the letter was not sent to you as a private letter? It was sent that all the stakeholders will become aware, or we are aware that this is the money is received, and the office has issued this receipt. So, Mansa Musa, this is a very simple thing. I don't know why we are talking about this thing. We are being treated like children in executive, and it is not right. We are all mature people. I believe in the integrity of the executive board. I believe in the integrity.
Let me ask you. I have to ask my question. I have to ask everyone.
Why can't we stop this issue?
Please. I have to ask you too. What do you say your name was again?
My name is Reverend Amati, Gilbert Amati.
Oh, Gilbert.
Yes.
Welcome once again.
Yes.
Listen, Gilbert.
Yes.
What is it about this? Is it that you have, not you alone, but you, the group that are insisting, you have some suspicion that's something untoward, or what is it?
No. Mansa Musa, you're getting it wrong. I don't suspect it, but it's out of respect. As you are among your equals.
Is it out of respect or out of?
Yes, out of respect.
Hang on. Is it respect or out of proper procedure?
No, of course, proper procedure and also transparency.
Exactly.
No
because if you just say
room
respect, then it can be brushed aside. So if it's
yeah,
transparency
fine,
and
but
accountability and procedure, fine.
Exactly. But the point is I'm just trying to be...
May you microphone Joe, don't worry, please.
No, let us not talk about this. Is a political matter that has been brought to the public, and I just want to say that nobody is questioning the integrity. All we're saying is that if you receive a letter for probity, accountability, transparency, let the others see what you have received.
Okay,
that's all.
Okay.
So what is the big deal? What is the big deal? I believe in the integrity of the chairman and the secretary, but why is it that you cannot show us the letter that you?
I think you say you want to have another word.
No, you can have another word, but I mean...
Mansa Musa.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, Reverend has got it wrong. What we are discussing is the quantum amount. We are not talking about the letter or whatever. I said to you...
No, I am talking about the letter.
No, yes, it started yesterday. Reverend, please. It started yesterday.
I'm talking about the letter.
Somebody mentioned amount. I said, no, it's not true. That amount. And he said he wanted to see the receipt. Mansa Musa, you were there. So, Reverend, you got it wrong. We are not talking about the letter, or because I was in the executive.
I am talking about the letter.
Chairman,
I'm not talking about the amount.
Okay. One person at a time, please.
To share the letter.
If you argue among yourselves, nobody. Joe, 1 second. Reverend, the point is, if you see, if it's not about the amount and it's the letter, then I think all of you are in the same position. You all agree.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know why he's saying that. I'm supporting that. But what I'm saying is, the amount that you mentioned, we all saw the money that we contributed because it was transparent, was all over the platforms. Why should somebody come and mention an amount that I haven't even seen in my life? What are you talking about? Because of politics? We shouldn't do that. What I'm saying is, the amount that you mentioned yesterday or last night was wrong. So you should go and verify. Because after on my phone now, Mansa Musa, because of politics, I can't send it to you. But it was all over our, one thing.
Anyway, Joe, the point here is, you see, if someone comes here to mention a figure and it's wrong, all this wouldn't happen if there had been transparency. If that
I understand that, Mansa Musa.
Exactly.
I understand that. That's why I'm asking the chairman that the auditors, even if they've gone to Mars, they should have come. Remember I said that. You understand? So what I'm saying is, what the Usa is just saying, you should provide us where the money is from, because I've got the money that we contributed on my phone. It was transparent. It was David Kwao, Kwasiakwa and other people. They were in charge of the money, and everything was on platform. Even if you add 1 penny, they will come and put it on the platform. That's what I'm telling my brother. You shouldn't do that.
Why is it that it is taking the executive, people who are looking after the money, to at least show you guys the books? Why is it taking so long?
No, Mansa Musa, that's why we are all interrogating. That why the chairman is not, whatever that is coming to audit our accounts. Why is taking that long? I've said it over and over. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't come and mention an amount, because if you do that, you are taking the argument away from the original argument. You understand? That's what I'm saying. My brother should be very careful. He shouldn't mention just a figure. If he's got any figure from what is on my phone, then I don't know whether he added what was collected. He added extra money to it.
Because of the time. Also, the point is that you should ask for maybe receipt or audit account, but the figure, according to everybody, you are wrong.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, I see you 18,000 and 15,000 koi. Into improve me. And
18 or 15. You see, you tell me the figures.
Also, check volume no form in terms of one. We say more receive 18,000 and now almost 15,000 koi. And yes, sir.
Yes. This is I'm wrong, go improve me. And Mansa Musa, almost say Dr. Judgman, or say, oh God, or say, oh, a call platform soon, doctor. Now, you say platform don't go for me posting it outside the platform. Yenya accountability or WhatsApp platform, so but chapter books the me and call because a political party. Mansa Musa, I'm my reference. And then I'm not MPP. Can you frata the MPP National Headquarters Koji Loan or Amalgamated Bank? almost $2 million dollars of Ghana cedis. And we should sit down because a political party we are opposition, you know. Ubia to in some both chapters come. As I'm saying, you chapter election, we are NCBA. It will not happen because another name blow, you know. Me say, but Dr. Judge my eka a sign of the because I saw me kind, you know. On one case, I confirm said, you see now, no, you know, you're say, Mansa Musa, clap for yourself.
No, don't twist my words, please. Don't twist it. You like doing this, and you have to stop. I said, Honorable Alessandro said he wanted to he wanted to find out how fast the money will reach Accra, and he said, I don't want to touch your money. No, please, don't distort messages. It's very bad in politics. He said, I don't want to touch your money because of what people are talking about. The money, the election money. Yes, so I don't want to touch your money. Far away of sending the money. So don't come and say that because of what you said. Yes. When did you say this? This was done since I commenced. Time. Alexander, what are you talking about? Please, what are you talking about? Don't stop there.
Because what can we do? Mommy come in here because we don't see Alexander Fia reference. Yes, because they see 2020 no.
No. Look at what he's talking about. Mansa Musa, I have to go because this guy, this guy. My advice is, please, let's learn how politics because who knows? You be the chairman, you be the vice. Please,
Doctor, political party. What you say? And people raise money.
No, but you don't come on radio and then mention any figure that you want. Please, you know something? Also, call Awudu, call Van Beer, yeah? Call David Kwao. Call them. They will give you if you haven't got it on your phone. I've got my phone. I'm not going to give it to you for you to know the actual amount. Call them. They will give you the actual figure because everyone's name was on that platform. People contributed. Everyone's name was there. And then you know how much you contributed before you put a figure on it. Please. No, I'm going now. Mansa Musa, thank you very much. And then I'm done.
Yeah, accountability WhatsApp platform, so. But chapter account me and can WhatsApp.
No. You are diverting it. The amount was wrong, my brother. The amount that you said was wrong. Go and revise the figure, please, before you talk about credibility.
And nobody can ask about chapter account.
No, we all asking for auditing, my brother. We all asking for auditing. But what I'm saying is, if you're asking, he who wants equity must come with clean hands. So when you are saying you want auditing, please tell the truth so that we all can say that we want the truth out of it. But when you are mentioning figures, distorting the message, please.
Okay.
That's the message.
Guys,
Mansa Musa, it's so sad that you are not NDC man. I should have sent you, but you are not NDC man. I can't do that.
Yeah, because
I should have sent you from a platform. You are not NDC guy. I've got it here. I can read every name who contributed. Why are you talking like that? Because of internal politics?
Anyway, listen, but next time, find a mechanism.
Thank you, Mansa Musa. Next time we have him.
Next time we have the munya mechanism be that wa media checks and balances.
Thank you, Mansa Musa.
Say what is the crown, what is small, be so be Kogana Fakwa. Sandy Pacron G's can cry. So sign from that.
Of course, Mansa Musa. Of course.
Maybe we are patchon, maybe can we? I say in a couple more radio no bianti. I say, the Pacron signs. So I, Mansa Musa, have received money, let's say 300 pounds or 200, 150 pounds meant for party headquarters or meant for something else. No, I try that. So at least say nipa no de kokra na emfa banka. Sa you crack tane da ho say Mansa Musa Jesus e di koe. Na se bibia ni wona so bi busa na so hu a ene na dey sa confusion nyina ba.
Mansa Musa, you are right. Mansa Musa, this administration transparency has been lacking. I've been saying over and over. But what I don't want my brother Owusu to do is increase the figure and say something. Just tell the truth. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. I've been saying that we need proper auditing like we used to do Kofi Kwachi's time. I was vice, I was Kofi Kwachi's lieutenant. But what I'm trying to say, Mansa Musa, what I'm saying is, Mansa Musa, what I'm saying is, we all want proper way of doing things, like Reverend was saying, right? We've been fighting for it. There are certain things, you know, when I was vice, anytime there's a letter from Accra, Kofi Kwachi will read and then give it to, you call me some query, say this letter, and then we send it to all the executives and say private and confidential, and they will read. When we come to the next meeting, we all go into the letter. You understand? This administration, they are not doing that. I've said it over and over. But what I'm trying to tell my brother is, I'm for good practices. I'm for. But the point is, don't mention money that is not there. That's what I'm telling my brothers. You should be very careful, because I've got a figure in front of me, and I don't know why he mentioned that amount. So you should go and revise. I'm currently pleading with him. Revise and find out. Even if he cannot revise, you should call Van Bell, David Kwao, what do you call, Janet Tia, Chamakwa. They were in charge of that money. They will tell the exact money, please, so that we don't come to public.
Sorry, Doctor, would you agree that if he got the figure wrong, at least the notion that some monies were sent, but he doesn't know the how it was sent and the receipt, at least that one there, when in the argument.
Of course, I've said it. Accountability is very important.
Okay.
You understand? But he shouldn't come, because director has said, we should be very careful. Meetings, the money that you are flashing out there is not true. There was time that people were saying that was me.
Fair enough. Owusu, I will give you last but one, because I still call Gilbert also. Owusu, quickly.
Yeah, Mansa Musa made that say, because me, as we raised and say there were about 10 member committee. What yes, only 10 raised.
My voice is so menstrual.
Yeah. Oh, no, me sometimes ready. There were 10 people. What you say? And you know, Dr. George Mansa, I should be careful now, and me part will be on no be out. As I'm saying, you trade.
No, I advise. And you wait. Take it easy.
Matthias here, but tell me what you say. Yeah, no, my calling can a JM office. And
I say, I advise what you say to slow to talk about. You fancy what can I advise?
Nipa 10 resist cano. How the money got to Accra? They have, I don't know. With the
okay, yeah, come what you know, and a wild card said it won't happen again. So now, what you have to do is I also what you guys have to do is that fight for the auditing.
Exactly. And you can't be what you say. And now no nyambo next year. But they happen to tell.
Anyway, info analytics say obey a polls, you know, for your election. So it's good news.
No, it's not needed. It's not needed. We can't keep on do polls upon polls. It's not needed.
Hang on, what's it there? I know there you don't decide though, and then you don't decide.
Mansa Musa, it's not needed, because listen, people are just
that one you don't decide. A pollster can decide to do polls anywhere, anytime. They can even decide to do polls in America. Or a pollster. If you say it's not needed, it's not up to you. No.
You know why? You know what I'm saying that?
Why?
The last time it happened, there was so many problems, confusion. That's what I'm saying that we need unity, Mansa Musa.
I will, for myself at least, I will get this
Mansa Musa, I will speak to you off record, but there was so what we need is, after this election, unity. Anything that we think,
so
we think that it will not bring unity, Mansa Musa.
Secretly, they don't call a meeting. Listen, Joe, maybe I would call a meeting. They don't call a meeting to say, who do you support? They are asking people individually. Yes, and then my taking polls be about Cecil Dapa, and then Ghana Web. My polls, you know, Obiampo nim say me. I mean, individuals. So why do you say it's not necessary?
Mansa Musa, my main concern is last time we created problems, right? And then at the moment we've been bantering for so long. So anything that we think it will bring further confusion. If the thing is going to be peaceful, everyone will be okay. That's fine.
This one, there are certain things I can say, okay. This one is not in your bosom at all. People want to know what is happening on the ground. People want to know what is happening on the ground. And
that's fine.
It's not about you personally or anybody. They want to know people's views before the election. And it will be secret. It's not going to be a general domain, and I say in public, on the microphone, on the loudspeakers. Who do you support? No. Quietly.
The other one, there was so flaws in that the other one because.
Well, if you say flaws, you don't believe it, fine. For that
No,
one.
no, no. Mansa Musa,
if you
can I
say
say
you don't
something?
trust it,
Mansa Musa,
Infos
Mansa Musa,
Analytics.
I'm
They are
doing research for
doing
living.
everything in Ghana. They are the number one pollsters.
No,
If you don't
Mansa
trust
Musa,
them, fine.
Mansa Musa, Ghana, you can move around and ask people, but the moment as we speak now, we don't know who is on voter register. We don't know who, at the moment they said it's not final voter register.
Polling. Look, sometimes they go around, Mamobi, Kotobabi, Nima, whatever. They will ask, are you on the voters register? I say yes. They won't ask for your card or to prove it. They will start asking their questions. Maybe you are not even on it. But the number of people they get, they will publish it. It doesn't mean that it is exactly so. It's polling, pollster. That's what it means. And
okay,
so,
I understand
for
that.
me,
Mansa Musa,
I don't see any problem here.
Mansa Musa, there's no problem. But let me tell you something. I am a researcher. If you call someone, are you going to call the person and say, are you a voter? The person says yes. But when I ask people to, the last time, I'm just telling you something. That's my feedback. Yeah. The last time people can do 30 times, 40 times. So it's not realistic.
Joe, listen. For me, I'm even surprised that you are saying this. Because otherwise, it means, I don't know what to say. Anyway, you are not going to force me to say things. But listen, Joe, polling is polling. When it comes and you don't believe it, fine. That one day I can't force you to believe it.
Mansa Musa, I'm telling you the truth that if you are going to call people one-on-one, like what you said they do in Ghana, then I would say that is near what is expected.
Joe,
but
are you still not listening to me? Me say, this polling, especially on the internet, and maybe somebody can use his phone and then later use a laptop and later use a computer at the work to maybe do the polls. About I don't know. But it is still done as polling. So when it comes out and you believe it, fine. If you don't believe, it doesn't mean you have to stop the pollster from doing it.
Fine. Mansa Musa, go ahead. I thank you for the opportunity, and I have to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyway, let me go to Gilbert. I think if he's still here, for him to say the last word.
I'm still on the line.
Okay, Gilbert, quickly. I'm
still on the line.
It's 11 o'clock.
Just a quick one. I'd like to reiterate that, and I will say it again and again, that I haven't questioned the integrity of the leadership. You've been asking legitimate questions. If this letter, receipt of acknowledgement from Accra, had been shared with the executive, I don't think we'll be where we are today.
At all.
That would have stopped it. I'll go back to it again. A chairman is the first among the equals. He's not above us. You have received a letter. We're all stakeholders, a contribution towards, a project. The person has received the money. I did not mention a figure. I wouldn't mention a figure. All I was told in a meeting was that I have received, a chairman said, I quote it verbatim, I have received the letter, but I cannot publish it on the website. They said, if you want it, ask for it privately. This is his own words. And I don't think it's right, and I don't know why Dr. Johajiman cannot see, from where we're saying. If this letter had been published, please.
Also,
Thank you.
Reverend Gilbert.
Thank you.
You guys should send me money, but don't tell your wife. And if your wife asks, tell him that Mansa Musa said he is satisfied.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Listen, have a good night.
I owe you. You hear from me. Your time. The time is important. Okay. Thank you very much for the time.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye bye.
Joe. Ousu.
What's that?
No, Makano. More NDC for Sana Mutia Music. More NDC for Sana Mutia Music until there. Since Cabo to be Bremina. Say, bow, so girlfriend people sawa. What's your Mansa Musa? What here? And he received you.
Now we can't info analytics or more by NDC poll.
What's it?
Now we can't info analytics.
Oh, yeah, I'm interviewing, yeah.
Okay. I hope I think branch a question and answer also can hold because there's no question.
Well, for me, listen, it is not anybody's prerogative. Say, by now, we need to hear by force because they are not going to ask people in public.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
They are not going to ask anybody in public. And you know, only the media may see on your post, mammy, hear their trend in echo, and yes, I'm thinking, listen, I will thank you all very much for everything, and may God bless all of us. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Emu daho. Minua, tie fire will burn you. Ewo NFM Radio. Jumedi Mansa Musa ede bro. Ejuada kopem memneda. Enumre non song. Ekopem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Moko school, Baba.